all work. I mean, we saw Jerry Jones walk by a little while ago. Now, we were told Jerry Jones yesterday. Maybe. It was tentative yesterday. It didn't happen. We were also told today, tentative, Jerry Jones. He could show up at any point. We do know Jaylen Brooks, wide receiver, is going to join us here on the Blitz shortly after practice.
Yeah, well, we'll see, right? I mean, could they bump each other, Jerry and Jaylen?
You know, I have a feeling if Jerry Jones is sitting in the tent when Jaylen Brooks walks in, he's just going to pull up a chair and be fine. And if Jaylen Brooks is sitting in that chair and Jerry walks in, Jaylen, good talking to you.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's going to know that, too.
Exactly.
Take the headsets off, clean them up, and pull out the chair for Mr. Jones.
Okay, very good. I'm just making sure that you were prepared for this.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's all I wanted to know.
I mean, quite honestly, if Jerry walked in and took your chair, we'd be okay with that. Or if he took my chair, we'd be okay with that.
I'd be fine with that. Your chair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, see, because we could go grab some lunch. Although, in fairness, the Ventura County, I don't know, chamber-type people are doing a buffet today. How was your burger?
It was horrible. Are you kidding me? It tasted like rubber.
Don't lie.
Tasted like rubber.
Don't lie.
It was actually pretty good. And then I found out it wasn't real.
It was an Impossible Burger.
You know, and that's fine.
Now you're mad.
Well, yeah, a little bit, because I didn't see the sign. They should have a warning label on the top of that thing.
When you're going through the buffet, they had that little placard in front of every kind of tray at a buffet.
Who's looking at that?
Well, I didn't. I saw Impossible Burger and skipped it.
All I saw was a burger sitting in there, and I saw some tri-tip, and I said, I'm going for that.
And you were eating your burger, and well, we all knew it was impossible. Then when you walked out with the burger, we all decided, we're not going to tell Joe that's not real until it's done, just to see what he thought of the burger.
And look, the burger tasted fine. It tasted just like a regular hamburger. The problem is those things aren't good for you. They're not.
Little hamburgers?
They're made with chemicals.
Yeah.
It's like a science experiment.
Okay.
And so the real thing is always better than the fake.
Uh-huh.
Always.
There's plastic surgeons that disagree with that, but when you look at it,
yeah, I mean, sometimes plastics. There's exceptions for everything.
Yeah, I'm with you there. But Rob took a piece of it and was like, wouldn't know the difference. AJ was like, yeah, no, this isn't happening.
Oh, good for you. Good for you.
Well, and I'm just wondering though, if you knew, does that change how it tastes in your head? See, like you said, it was good until you found out it wasn't real. It was one of them fake burgers.
No, I'm going to be honest with you. It was fine. I couldn't taste the difference.
Would you get another one?
No.
Why?
It's not good for you. It's really not. And it's really not good for you. And I know there's people out there that eat these Impossible Burgers and Impossible whatevers. And it's not good. It's a science experiment. Why would you want to put a bunch of extra chemicals in your body?
Think about all the crap we put in our bodies on a daily basis.
I get it. So I'd rather just have a regular greasy burger than a bunch of chemical burgers.
Either way, we're all going to die, right?
Yeah, well, exactly.
Yeah, something's going to kill us one way or the other.
I'm not too worried about it. It's not exactly like we've been eating healthy since we've been here in Oxnard.
Are you kidding?
Really?
Well, sure.
Well, last night was healthy. No, it was good. A little steak and a baked potato.
We got
perfect.
steaks last night from Whole Foods. Now, I will say we went to a meat market, and, it wasn't what we were expecting. It was certainly not a tri-county, that is for sure. So we left there, and AJ was like, Whole Foods generally has a decent selection, because the other grocery store out here, Vaughn's, we've seen their steaks before. Yeah. And
they're not so good.
Whole Foods, that was impressive. Those nice bone-in ribeyes. It was good.
Yeah, it was. Not bad at all. And Rob cooked them up just right. So the whole night was a success. But that was a healthy meal. You got protein and a baked potato. That's it. Now, the 12 beers we each had, now that might do something else. But
well, I mean, but
actually, wine last. Yeah, and it was quite nice.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. You guys had some. Oh, Travis Frederick apparently just walked by.
That?
Squirrel.
Is he going to play?
No, no.
That's too bad.
A lot of good stories with Travis Frederick through the years out here. One of the crazier days. Yeah, you guys had that red wine.
Yeah, it was
the
good.
Annual argument between you and Clarence Hill Jr. of the Fort Worth Star Telegram.
That I actually won again.
I don't know.
I mean, I think I'm undefeated with with chill?
I think he says the same thing.
I'm not sure.
Well, I mean, the argument hasn't changed in years.
It's all about Dak Prescott. Still about Dak Prescott, yes.
Yeah, Troy Aikman weighed in on Dak Prescott and his future. We'll hear from the boys out on the practice field and hear from Troy Aikman, maybe Jerry Jones. Stick around. It's the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star and the Gomez Law Firm present the first annual back-to-school drive this Saturday from noon till 2 p.m. while supplies last at Gomez Law Firm, 2943 Moss Rock Drive. Free backpacks and school supplies for all school-age children, only while supplies last, so don't be late. This Saturday from noon to 2 p.m. at Gomez Law Firm, 2943 Moss Rock Drive. Presented by the Gomez Law Firm and in part by ProStar Home Care Services, Sonora Bank, Las Palapas, and 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's time to huddle up and listen close. For 2024, we pay tribute to a true game changer in the world of snacks. The unrivaled, the unbeatable, the pork rind. Yes, it's crunch time, and we're not just talking about the last few nail-biting minutes of the game. We're talking about a snack so audaciously crunchy, it puts those pretentious chips and pretzels to shame. So here's to you, Southern Recipe Pork Rinds, for being more than just a crunch. Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. It's crunch time. Find your rind at H-E-B.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone. I went through it a while back. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor, which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again. At work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text. Text ENERGY to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text ENERGY to 321-321. That's ENERGY to 321-321.
Products and statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or illness.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Diego.
Hi, Diego. It's Jennifer Coolidge. I just want to say your cashback match makes me feel so special. It really inspired me.
That's great. Doubling the cashback you've earned at the end of your first year is what we do.
Well, I'm doubling everything now. Double dating, double dipping, double feature, double header, double whammy. Basically double or nothing.
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer whenever I want?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. 94% of Sleep Number smart sleepers report better sleep. And now, save 40% on the Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Plus, free home delivery on select smart beds when you add an adjustable base. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
Are you an annoying know-it-all? Answering questions no one asked of you? Do people often ask you, how do you sleep at night? Then you should go to Mattress Firm. They have knowledgeable sleep experts specifically trained to help match you with the right mattress, so anyone, even people like you, can sleep. Get matched at Mattress Firm. Sleep at night. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Starting trouble. No one likes that. We can get you set up for some stronger starts. You might just need a fresh charge, and we can take care of that free of charge. But new battery will fit your needs, starting at just $79.99. That's what makes us America's #1 battery destination.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
It's the Blitz with Jason and Joe on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He is Joe Reinagle. I'm Jason Minix. On Twitter, at Joe Reinagle210, at Jason Minix. You can also get us there on Instagram and follow the station at SA Sports Star. And make sure you're following, excuse me, the Sports Star Instagram.
Absolutely.
At SA Sports Star. We gave away all that Ranger stuff today. We were told, one of those name generators that gives us a winner. And we had a winner. So congratulations.
We did have a winner.
We tweeted her name. So if you think that might be you, go check our Instagram. And you'll see, I said tweeted. We congratulated her on Instagram. So check Instagram to see if you won. Hell, I don't know.
I was trying to find the name, and
well, me neither. It's in a gazillion emails. It was. See, that's the thing. When you're out here, we're 2 hours behind. So you wake up to 8,000 emails.
Yes.
At 8 o'clock in the morning, but it's 10 o'clock back there, and then you delete 98% of them because they're crap, and then you can't find the one you're looking for.
That's true. I will find it, though, and we'll give her a proper shout-out before the show's over. Maybe 2 or 3 before the show's over.
Alyssa Perez. Thank you, Pledge.
Alyssa
Perez.
Or Pettis.
Or, well, sure.
Yes.
It's either way.
It's Pettis.
I mean, she's got 2 S's in Alyssa.
Well, so what does that have to do with anything? I bet you there's an A and an L in there, too.
A-L-Y.
How about that?
S-S-A.
So that makes it Perez.
Sure.
Okay. I got you. I was not aware of these things.
I mean, it's just one of those, I don't know.
I don't know. It doesn't matter, but congratulations, Alyssa. You got a bunch of nice Rangers swag.
Including a bat that has been upside Reinagle's head before.
Well, it's
and it needs to again.
The thought has crossed Minix's mind to do that, but he hasn't done that yet.
Well, I've taken swings.
Well, yeah, I'm pretty quick.
No.
Yeah, I move.
I've got the discipline to check swing.
Yeah.
Like this,
Lightning
you're
fast.
not worth my job or jail.
Yeah. Well, the problem is you can't reach my head unless I'm sitting down.
Oh, shut up.
So, I mean, you'd hit me in the arm.
A week with A.J. Hoffman, and you're starting to rub off on that guy. I mean, that's the only joke that guy has. He's supposed to be funny, and that's all he has.
It really is. And there's another one that I can't repeat on the air.
Well, that's true.
And that one's gone a little too far, too. But, it is what it is.
Yeah. You talk about days that end in Y.
Yes.
A.J. and Rob should be out there on the football field. I'm not sure if it's not that far of a walk. I expect to see them chime in at any point.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how we're going to do this. It's one of those things that sounds good over beer, and then you don't have a plan to execute it. And it's just automatically just going to happen and work.
It will happen. We've got great technology here.
There we go.
San Antonio Sports Star.
Yeah, so I see they're on the far practice field. They've gone in where the crowd is at as opposed to where the media can go. See, the media can be on the other side of that fence. So go to our San Antonio Sports Star YouTube channel, and you could see live video. Now, what they might be doing here, by accident, I'm sure, Rob, because on the other side of the fence where the media is at, you can't technically go live, but fans can go live all they want,
I don't know. I'm not sure exactly what Rob is mouthing there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's a great shot, Rob. That's a beautiful shot.
Action Cam 5000.
Yes, that's fantastic. And if you're a lip reader, you know exactly what Rob Thompson just said there. And if you know, please translate because I have no clue.
Yeah, I was going to say I am not a lip reader.
Nor am I, but that's okay.
Well, that's practice. Rob, if you can turn around, let's see what the crowd looks like today, because it did feel like there was a lot more energy at practice today, and that it looks like a decent crowd there in the stands. Long line getting in when Clay Thompson and I were walking in today. That area is for fans, and then you see across in the end zone area and across the way is all VIP. But it's energy Friday. People take a Friday off. School's about to start. Let's go watch the Cowboys practice at lunch and then go and start your weekend in California.
It's interesting because, all around the complex even, and not just out in the stands, but the complex, everybody seems a little more pep in their step because I'll be honest with you, the camps just had a weird vibe to it all week.
Mm-hmm.
It really has just kind of a gloomy if you will, kind of a gloomy vibe. Today, a little more upbeat. I'm glad to see it.
And I don't know, with an off season that was supposed to be all in, and the Cowboys didn't do anything. And you've got a CD Lamb holding out. You've got all the contract talks with Dak Prescott. It's got a weird feel. You're not talking about this team as a national Super Bowl contending type of team. They obviously get a lot of national exposure, but all of that has
try it again. Check. Any better?
Talk and how
wait.
The season ended last year, and I think there is going to just be a point once the season starts, we can forget about the Green Bay game.
Check.
That taste is still in everybody's mouth, no matter how many times you brush.
I'm hearing it in my ear.
You look at Dak Prescott. The idea that Dak Prescott is so polarizing. I didn't think we would get a more polarizing quarterback than Tony Romo. Yet Dak Prescott has achieved that, where the fan base is split.
Check.
It's almost like in the political world. You are on one side or the other, no matter what arguments, no matter what is said. You can't convince the other one, except maybe Mike McCarthy. All of the talk does not faze Dak Prescott one bit.
Yeah, I can. Just off the top of my head, I don't recall. I definitely coach a lot of players in their contract year, and I think it's something that happens quite frankly.
Check.
Frankly, so I think it's important that I think it's common. Is my so I don't think this is something that's just exclusive to one quarterback. I mean, this goes on every single day for the majority of employees.
Check.
As much criticism as Dak gets.
That's USB audio.
Including right here on this show. And a lot of it's warranted. But he's got a job to do, and the man is making a ton of money regardless of what kind of contract extension he gets. He's a football player.
Check.
Field, it's different. You forget about all the noise, and you're out there to do your job. And I will say, and I will give him credit for this, he does it very well. He blows it off.
Check.
And he goes out there and plays football.
Watching the practices
so he did have him
all week, and we do spend a lot of time watching the quarterbacks, whether it's just drills or in the team settings. And it's more fun, it's more interesting. I don't know what I'm doing when I'm watching offensive lineman practice, right? But also you're watching the quarterbacks not because of what Dak can do, but what Trey Lance can do. And I know I get accused of being the Dak defender on this radio station, and to a degree,
you are.
I am. But also, I would replace him in a minute if we could find somebody better than Dak Prescott. His playoff record sucks. Playoff Prescott is a real thing. That said, I do think Jerry will re-sign him if he gets it done here in training camp. I can't see Dak Prescott playing the season and being available for free agency and not taking advantage of that, because the amount of money that I think he could get from somebody outside. So you do spend a lot of time watching the backup quarterbacks and trying to figure out, was Trey Lance a mistake? And being out here watching him a week, that was a bigger mistake than what we thought last year when they actually made the move.
I'm not sure about that. I've been calling it the worst trade in the history of worst trades. And I get it, but I really wanted to see this kid in action. I wanted to see what he looked like. And I'm going to tell you, and this is not even going live, and you're going to have to wait till that first preseason game to see what he does out there. But look, I've just got to I just can't. He just doesn't make the throws. There's no throws that he makes. He looks like a quarterback. He's tall. He's got moves. He can move around. But it's just there's such a difference between Dak Prescott and Cooper Rush. And then there's Trey Lance. I know he's raw, but you know what? The Cowboys can't sit here and wait for this kid to grow up. It's just that's not the way it works in the NFL. And I tell you what, I'm afraid that fourth-round draft pick is flushed down the toilet.
And it might be spaghetti again. But, a byproduct of bringing in a Trey Lance, Cooper Rush, the guy that nobody ever talks about. We know Cooper Rush is a game-ready backup quarterback. There's no chance in hell he's ever going to go somewhere and be QB1. But he's going to have a great career and has had a great career as being a backup quarterback. But listening to Mike McCarthy talk today, Cooper Rush has certainly taken notice and worked his butt off, knowing that there's a guy trying to take his job.
Cooper's so steady, so steady. I've always loved that about him. He's personality-wise is exactly how he plays, and I think it's a real credit when you see a veteran with that presence, that confident, quiet presence that he brings, and he steps in the huddle with the young guys, and the ability to talk through with the young guys, spend the time with the young guys. So, yeah, super consistent. Obviously, extremely bright. Knows the offense inside and out, but I think he's in a really good rhythm, right now. And, frankly, I think this is the best shape I've seen him in, physically. So you're seeing all the extra work that he's putting in has paid off.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, if you think your job might be threatened, you want to come into camp in perfect shape and ready to go. He reminds me of Jason Garrett in a lot of ways. He really does. And Jason Garrett was never going to be the guy. But, man, if you need him in a pinch, as Cowboy fans know, when Dak was hurt a couple of years ago, Cooper Rush came in and went 4-1 and kept this team afloat. Solid backup.
Yeah, and that's – I mean, there are a lot of guys in the NFL throughout the history of the NFL that have been career backup quarterbacks, and Jason Garrett is a great example of it. There is one of those kind of things. So – you look at it and you sit there and you just go with it and see what is happening and what can happen at this quarterback situation. It's kind of odd that all three of them are in the final year of their deals. It's an entire room that is very comfortable together, that at least two of the three know the offense inside and out, according to Mike McCarthy. I mean, although Trey Lance has been there long enough, he should know the offense inside and out. Yet all three of them and the guy calling the plays that put the offense in, all of them are on the final year of their deals.
That's incredible just to think about that there is no plan going forward after this year. As we sit here today on August the 2nd, obviously that could change in a heartbeat or later this afternoon. But it is kind of hard to figure, and I can't wait to see Jerry Jones in the seat and ask him some of these questions about the future of this football team past this year. Whether he answers those questions or not remains to be seen, but they have to be asked, because if you look at the future of this Cowboys squad, right now it's completely up in the air.
A.J. Hoffman from the morning huddle out on the practice fields right now. A.J., as you're watching them go through their drills, it looks like either 9-on-7 or 7-on-7. As we talk about the quarterbacks, what are you seeing out there?
It looks like nines, and we saw just a minute ago Trey Lance throw a decent throw after two procedural penalties. So he had a shot down the sideline, about a 20-yard shot that he hit down the sideline. But before that, he, on what was supposed to be fourth down, had two procedure penalties.
So they're in midseason form, is what you're saying.
Yeah, they're looking about how you'd expect to look with Trey Lance on the field.
Well, I tell you, they looked that way with Dak Prescott, unfortunately, during the regular season. A lot of procedure penalties. But it really is a difference. And I know you've been out there this week, AJ, and I really have tried to take a hard look at Trey Lance. And just from what I've seen this week, I just don't think that it's there.
Listen, I said this on our show. If Trey Lance was a fifth-round pick, he wouldn't have a job in the NFL. They keep trying to give this dude jobs because they've invested in him, and he keeps proving that he is not an NFL-caliber quarterback. And if he was, we would have seen it by now. You'd know. If Shanahan couldn't get something out of him, I don't know who is going to get something out of him. And that's a real concern. Like, if you're a quarterback who fails with Kyle Shanahan, where are you going to succeed? He's got Mr. Irrelevant playing like an MVP, and he couldn't get Trey Lance on the field. That tells you a lot to me about Trey Lance. And I don't think it's going to get fixed. I think Trey Lance, there's people who think he's the heir apparent. I don't see how that can possibly happen.
I don't know who actually, other than his agent, truly thinks he's the heir apparent.
I think they think he's going to get the first crack, assuming Dak leaves this offseason. And I don't know that they could do that.
Yeah, well, and I look at it. I mean, again, you throw spaghetti against the wall and you see what sticks. This is spaghetti that is not sticking. And if Dak were to leave, you've got an affordable quarterback to maybe bridge the gap, but he's not even proven that he could do that. I mean, we've been out here a week, AJ, and I think that they are going to try to give him every opportunity to beat out Cooper Rush, and right now he looks like a distant third behind Cooper Rush, the big QB2.
Yeah, I don't think there's any way if Dak were hurt today that they'd plan on going into the season with Trey Lance as the one. It has to be Cooper Rush. He's so far from ready. But this is the most talked about third-string quarterback in football, and it's only talked about because he hasn't done what he's expected to do, because he was such a high draft pick and has been a massive disappointment. And I don't see anything this week that tells me that's about to change.
AJ, it's funny because Jason and I were talking about this yesterday. I think they've done this kid a huge disservice. And when I say, I don't mean the Cowboys, but the San Francisco 49ers did. This guy played 17 games in college. He's not ready for the NFL, but yet San Francisco moving up the way they did to draft him at number 3. The expectations were high as hell. The kid is raw. He is just raw. Maybe 2-3 years down the road, if he bounces around and maybe he can do something there, but he just hasn't played enough football. And for the Niners to draft him that high, and then for the Cowboys to waste a 4th-round pick on this guy, I just think, he just needs some work, and he's not getting that work and hasn't gotten it.
I think the dream scenario for San Francisco was Josh Allen, because a lot of people looked at him from Wyoming, a smaller school, didn't have a ton of starts, and they said the physicality is going to blossom into something. And remember the first 2 years of Josh Allen's career, he was not good. And year 3, it really clicked for him. But again, he was getting reps, and he was able to be healthy enough to stay on the field and go through the growing pains. A lot of this is on Trey, like not being available. Availability has been an issue for him, especially during some years where it would have been real developmental time. He missed out on those, and now I don't know that you can get those back, because like you said, he just he wasn't advanced coming out. He was supposed to take some time, and the time is run out, and now you've got to decide if you're going to pay this guy a second contract. I can't imagine anyone's in a hurry to do that, because wouldn't you rather just go find another 23-year-old, 22-year-old who is going to be on a rookie deal and see what he can do, rather than hit reset on Trey Lance?
AJ Hoffman from the Morning Huddle. AJ and Rob doing great work this way, and you guys have no idea. They get up like at 2 o'clock in the morning, and their show out here is 4 to 8. Good job, professional nappers. AJ Hoffman, Rob Thompson out on the practice field. We will check in with them as well coming up. And as you think about where we are in the contract talks, when Troy Aikman speaks, you listen. Troy Aikman said something today on the Pat McAfee show that certainly could perk the ears of Jerry Jones. We'll talk about it coming up here on the Blitz as our AA Best Bail Bonds Dallas Cowboys training camp coverage continues from Oxnard. Brought to you in part by Southern Recipe Pork Rinds here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Monday on the Morning Huddle, back in the saddle again. We'll look back at training camp and look forward to a busy week for the Cowboys.
Latest with Team USA, the basketball, and we're going to start track and field here soon. Morning Huddle starts at 6 right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Mornings 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Drowning in IRS debt? If you can't afford to pay your IRS debt due to economic hardship, you can now be free of IRS collection efforts by taking advantage of a special IRS tax hardship program. This program allows Americans who owe the IRS to resolve their delinquent tax debt once and for all. In some cases, maybe even reducing what you owe significantly. An open phone line has been established by Community Tax for consumers to call and see if they qualify. Simply dial 800-785-9545. If you owe back taxes to the IRS and cannot afford to pay them back or have years of unfiled tax returns, help is standing by. Just call the Community Tax Helpline today at 800-785-9545 for the help that you need. Don't take on the IRS alone. They can attack your wages, savings, pension, home, and even your Social Security check. Call 800-785-9545 to see if you qualify. That's 800-785-9545.
You've got to watch your NFL team every Sunday, and Verizon's got you covered for all your team's out-of-market games every Sunday afternoon. Come on! From kickoff to sign-off, from first downs and touchdowns
That's right.
to turnovers, no, and overturned plays.
After review, the pass was incomplete.
Nice. Let's go! This season, win every Sunday with Verizon. Get a great deal on NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV and a new phone. Excludes digital-only games. Terms and embargoes apply.
All right, when it comes to getting life insurance for your family, a lot of excuses can get in the way. But ask yourself this: if something were to happen to me, who would pay the mortgage, the kids' education, and the other bills? Then forget the excuses and check out Ethos Life, the online, easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Ethos has rates that you can afford, like a $500,000 policy for a 40-year-old male starting at $1 a day or $30 a month with a few health questions and no medical exam. Get your free quote right now at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Rates do vary.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
We take whiskey seriously. Taste the difference of a hand-selected bourbon at your local lodge, like the Twin Peaks Buffalo Trace Barrel Select.
The Morning Huddle.
They stole my show name a long time ago.
The Blitz is in every city, man. I will defend him there.
No way. He said, "You know what? I'm going to do. I'm going to take what he's done."
And you know why they did name it? He did have a linebacker.
He wasn't really a pass rush linebacker. We're getting down to maybe you should have called your show "Drop Into Coverage."
The Morning Huddle with AJ and Rob. Weekday mornings 6 to 10. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This is Andrew Monaco, and you're listening to the home of the Aggies, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinigle on Jason Minix. We are in Oxnard at Dallas Cowboys at training camp. Tomorrow, noon to 2 over at the Gomez Law Firm. It will be our first annual back-to-school drive. We have 500 backpacks. We've got school supplies, free for all school-aged children. Now, the kids must be present at Gomez Law Firm tomorrow, noon to 2. They're over there on Moss Rock Drive. It is brought to you in part by ProStar Home Care Services, Sonora Bank, and Las Palapas. But, man, it's already time to start thinking back to school. And we got your backpacks taken care of tomorrow. So go by Gomez Law Firm. Absolutely.
Oh, you're a backpack guy. Backpacks are expensive, aren't they?
They are.
Yeah.
They are. Especially the one that I have, which is just like Rob Thompson's to a degree, and just like our big boss we saw. He showed up. Yeah, we all have the same backpack.
I didn't think the Hello Kitty backpacks were that expensive.
I mean, dude, you got to pay those franchise fees. I mean, they are expensive.
Is that what it is?
Well, and there's so many pockets. I mean, that's how it goes.
Well, that's good. It's obviously a quality backpack, and the picture of the art is perfect.
Well, I mean, it works.
Yeah.
I mean, and they got all kinds of hooks and things that Rob will figure out. The problem is there's too many pockets for Rob.
Yeah. Just not a backpack guy.
We know that. You're too good for backpacks.
No, not too good for them. They just feel with a backpack on my back. I mean, honestly.
A goofball.
I just feel like somebody, hey, doop-de-doop-de-doo. I mean, no offense to you guys.
Well,
but
I mean, I don't give a damn. I mean, I started going with a backpack instead of a shoulder bag because it was better for my back.
See that? There's Rob.
See?
Doop.
See?
There he
Rob's
goes.
got things falling out of his pocket. Hey, dude, take your Impossible Burger with you. Don't leave that fake cheeseburger here.
Yeah, please don't.
Brian Nagel would have eaten it until he found out it wasn't real.
Yeah, dude.
Now he's anti.
I am.
The
I've
Impossible Burger.
Always have been, and they tricked me. They tricked me into eating a burger that's horrible.
We did not trick you.
Not you, the people over there at the Chamber of Commerce.
They didn't trick you either. There was a sign. It said Impossible Burger.
It's
not their fault you didn't read the sign.
It's California. I should have expected as much.
Yes.
Is anything real here?
That's debatable.
I don't think so.
That's debatable.
I've seen a lot of stuff that is not. And we can put that right in the category of man-made. All of it.
Uh-huh. Speak the truth.
Yes, it is.
Troy Aikman today on the Pat McAfee show, speaking the truth. And Troy Aikman has said today on the Pat McAfee show things that you have heard from other broadcasters in a roundabout way. Maybe not said exactly the same way, but the intent, the meaning is there. You've heard it from Ryan Nagel. You've heard it from me. You've heard it from Rob. You've heard it from AJ. You've heard it. But it's different coming from Troy Aikman because, Troy Aikman has Jerry Jones's ear and respect. And not only as a Cowboy Super Bowl Hall of Fame quarterback, national broadcaster, a lot of influence. Troy Aikman on Pat McAfee today said the only thing that Dak Prescott cares about is winning.
Another guy that probably doesn't get talked about in that same light because he hasn't had the same success in the postseason is a guy who I'm very fond of right here in Dallas, and that's Dak Prescott. What I respect so much about Dak, one is he's a great leader. He's a great person. But he's an old school guy in that he doesn't care about anything but winning. And it frustrates him beyond imagination that they haven't had more success in the postseason. And it's the only thing that's keeping him from really being mentioned with Pat Mahomes and some of the other greats.
And he's absolutely right about that. With the regular seasons that Dak has done over the last 3 years, 12 win seasons. But, I mean, look, again, it's all about the postseason in the NFL. That's what is important. I mean, let's face it, it is, and that's where it's not getting done. And we can have all the respect you want for Dak Prescott. Have it all. You love him. He's a great leader. He's all of these things. Get it done in the playoffs.
And as you can hear from Troy Aikman, nobody's more frustrated than Dak Prescott when it comes to that. I'm going to preface this as saying, last time Troy Aikman was on the Blitz with you and I, he did tell us that he does have conversations, real conversations with Dak Prescott.
Yeah.
And if you're Dak Prescott, if there's a guy that you can call and talk to that's been there, that understands, that confidant type, it would be Troy Aikman. Now, I have no idea if Troy, in this next comment, is in a roundabout way sharing anything that he has had a conversation with about Dak Prescott. But I can tell you, I think Troy certainly knows Dak better than most. So when he says the longer this thing drags out, the less likely it is Dak will be in Dallas by Dak's choice, my ears perk up.
If he breaks through this year, I mean, I do believe he's going to be the first quarterback to $60 million. And
from Jerry or somewhere else?
Well, that's the question. And the longer this goes, the more I think he will be playing somewhere else. I just, if it continues to drag on and he plays great, and then the Cowboys come in late to say, hey, now we want to pay you, I don't know where his head will be at that point. But yeah, so when you look at the numbers, if you didn't have the names and you just looked at stats, and again, I go back to, I don't care about stats, I just want to see wins, but wins included, you would, over the last couple of years, along with Patrick Mahomes's. but it's what's happened in the postseason that has separated those two. And so that's where the whole organization has to be better. This isn't just on Dak Prescott. This goes back for the last 25, 30 years that the Cowboys just have failed to play their best football when the games have mattered most in January.
He's absolutely right. It is on the entire organization, but it starts at the top when it comes to on the field. And that, whether you like it or not, whether it's fair or not, makes no difference. That is number 4, Dak Prescott. He's the leader of this team. He's the face of this team. And when it fails, he fails. When it succeeds, he succeeds. And nobody else is going to get credit if the Cowboys win the Super Bowl this year. I'm trying not to laugh, but if they do, nobody's going to give credit to anybody else but Dak Prescott.
Well, and that's by nature of the position, right? Unless your name is Trent Dilfer. So you look at it, think about what Troy said there on Pat McAfee. The longer this goes, if they come to him after and say, hey, here, or now we're ready, it might be too late.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's coming from a private conversation that he had with Dak Prescott, or if that's Troy Aikman saying, you know how I would feel, because there is the human nature. And if you resign yourself to the fact that I've had a good run in Dallas, I'm going to go somewhere else, because he's been talking about that a lot in training camp. The fact that it's the reality of the business. He says he wants to be in Dallas long-term and play his entire career here. But he also sounds resigned to the fact that that might not be a reality, whether it's his choice or Jerry's choice. But I've said many times, as have you, we've talked about this, if there's not a deal done before the start of the season, I don't see after the season, whether they get eliminated in the first round, don't make the playoffs, or win the Super Bowl. If I'm Dak Prescott and I've gone through all this to become a free agent, you're damn right I'm going to test the free agent market and let the market decide what I'm worth.
Well, look, that decision by Dak may have already been made. And we keep putting all of this on Jerry Jones, and maybe it's not Jerry Jones. Stephen Jones sat right there on Monday afternoon and told us that Dak and CD were both given contracts to look at. And as of now, nobody signed it. Now, I don't know what those contracts were. He didn't say. Were they lowball? Perhaps. And maybe that's the key. Maybe they're just dotting some I's and crossing some T's. But this very well may be Dak Prescott saying, look, I'm going to play this season out. I'm making plenty of money, and we're going to test the free agent market. If you don't respect me here in Dallas, which I find laughable because I think they do, but if you don't, we're going to go see somebody else that maybe does, and maybe I just need a fresh start.
And all of that's a possibility, but I do think, and especially hearing it from Troy, if the longer it takes, the less likely it is he'll be in Dallas. The good news with that, Cowboy fans, Dak's always motivated and driven. He's been that way since the first day we saw him out here his rookie year. He's been that guy. But in a prove-it situation, everything on the line, bet on yourself. Now, last time he was in that situation, he snapped a leg. But and he still got paid. But Dak seems more dialed in. And again, I know some of you listening right there will just give me crap because, oh, you're a Dak fan. It's not just me saying it. Everybody out here at training camp sees a more driven, more deliberate Dak Prescott. I'm not sure why. I don't know if it's because CD isn't here and all those other receivers, if he's, all right, I got to figure out what I'm doing with these guys. But there does seem something different about Dak Prescott in a very good way while we've been here this week at Cowboys training camp.
I can't disagree with that. I've seen the same thing, and he is dialed in. He's working hard out there. But look, Dak does that. It's what he does. I mean, the guy, I can't criticize his leadership, his work ethic, all of that kind of stuff. But it all goes back to what you do. And I love how Troy Aikman brings up Patrick Mahomes. And, yes, regular season stats between Mahomes and Dak Prescott are pretty much identical. But Mahomes has 3 rings. And Mahomes got it done last year with nobody.
Yeah.
Nobody on that team. And so the Cowboys had a team last year that had everything going for it. Everything. And Dak pooped the bed at home against Green Bay, and just it crushed everything.
How do you come off one of the more disappointing playoff losses, if not the most disappointing playoff loss? How do you respond to it? And, and that is what this team is facing. That is what Mike McCarthy is facing. That is what Mike Zimmer, even though he wasn't a part of it, he's got to change some things. It does feel like, I know Dak said the other day, and we talked about it, I don't think that guy missteps often on the podium, but he did the other day with his message to fans, you just got to move on. Fans have not moved on.
No. We saw one this morning.
Oh, my God. We met this guy at McDonald's. Yeah, we had a wonderful we didn't go to Spud Nuts today. We went to McDonald's. And this guy wearing a CeeDee Lamb jersey. He's from in the Oxnard, about 45 minutes from Oxnard, coming in for private. Lifelong fan. Wife is a 49er fan, but she wears cowboy gear for him, right? Tell Jerry. Yeah, it's just it's incredible. And this guy's like, it took me a while to wear cowboy gear after that loss to the Packers. He was so disappointed. Yet he's out there in the stands right now trying to get autographs.
Absolutely is. Well, look, I mean, you're a fan. It's not nobody's going to live. That's why this whole, fan apathy thing is laughable to me, because it won't be that way when they start the season in Cleveland against the Browns. Fans will come back. They will, and they're going to want their team to succeed. And I love the comments on our YouTube channel. David Wayman says, if the Cowboys respected Dak, they would have improved the team in free agency. My answer to that, David, and it's a very good question, but my answer to that is, if you want to be Patrick Mahomes, be Patrick Mahomes. He got it done with nobody, and maybe that's Jerry saying, hey, you want to be that guy? Go be that guy.
It's interesting because there's so many ways you could look at that. The last couple of years, to Jerry Jones's credit, as the general manager, they have had Super Bowl caliber rosters. But when you look at paying all these guys, and they've done some bad deals that have a lot of dead cap money working against them. And that kind of brings in his odd credit card analogy, but there is some truth into that. But they've brought in guys, and they couldn't get it done. The Cowboys have always been a draft and develop type of team. And when you look at what it's going to cost to get CeeDee done, what it's going to cost to get Dak done, and I do think you do have to give Jerry credit, isn't the right word, but I know he used the term grace at one point, but as he's trying to figure out this year, they also have to look at 2, 3, 4, 5 years down the road with other contracts. I mean, with the Diggs deal, how it factors in, Tyler Smith when he gets paid. All of this is factoring in that lawsuit with DirecTV, which took a weird turn yesterday when that judge basically threw out the case. But if they were going to have to give out billions, the impact on the salary cap. Again, their job is to juggle all that and figure all that out, not ours. But I do think that factored into Jerry not spending in free agency, seeing what he does have in these young players, everybody in a prove-it situation, and can he do more with less? If he's going to tell me, I think, and Jerry did say this on his opening press conference, he thinks Dak can make everybody better. We've yet to see Dak bring and make people better in the playoffs. We've yet to see that. I kind of feel like I know what I have with Dak Prescott, and then the playoffs roll around. I need those other guys to step up and make big plays for Dak, not the other way around. I see Patrick Mahomes lift everybody else up. Dak can lift them so far, and we've seen his max to this point.
Yeah, can't disagree with that at all, and that's been the problem. Again, I agree with what Troy Aikman said earlier. If Dak had done better in the playoffs, he would be mentioned as one of the top 3 quarterbacks in the NFL. I don't think you can argue that, but he hasn't. And to be mentioned in that, you've got to be the guy that can get it done when it means the most. And again, I go back to that Green Bay game, and it's just it was Dak's fault, it was CeeDee's fault, it was Mike's, it was everybody's fault, because the entire team, which it's still hard to believe even now how lethargic they were to start that football game. It was just pathetic. And it got out of hand before they knew it, and the game was over in the first half. But I just don't understand how that happens. And, people want to blame Jerry's problem. You know what? When you put that helmet and that uniform on and you go out in a game at home, in a playoff game that means something, Jerry doesn't matter. Mike McCarthy, he matters a little, but it's those players that have to go play. And what I saw in that game, they didn't. And that was the problem.
It's going to be interesting. We expect to talk with Jerry Jones live today here on the Blitz. We did see him earlier, but he was going out to watch practice and maybe after practice.
He's in his perch.
He's in his perch if you think about it, if you see on our socials, especially the San Antonio Sports Star Instagram at SA Sports Star, go there, follow at SA Sports Star. In between the two fields, there's this giant perch. That's where Jerry and Steven and Will McClay watch practice from. And they got some video guys up there, but it's the bird's eye view of practice in between, so you can watch both fields. So that is where Jerry is. Well, the last time we saw him, that's where he is.
That's usually where he is during practice.
Yeah.
He sits up there in his perch and rules his kingdom, if you will. And then he'll be back down. But yeah, the fact that he's here, I think the car wash is upcoming. At least we're hopeful to have him on. We've been promised that we'll get him before we leave here, and we're running out of time.
Well, we are, because today is our final day of our AA Best Bail Bonds Dallas Cowboys training camp coverage from Oxnard, California. Brought to you by Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. Along with Jerry, we get a Jaylen today. Wide receiver Jaylen Brooks will join us shortly after practice. So keep it tuned to 94.1. Keep it tuned to whatever app you've got going on, or if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to the San Antonio Sports Star YouTube channel here on the Blitz. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Full coverage of Dallas Cowboys training camp live from Oxnard, California. KTFM, Floresville, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Will Dallas' Dak Prescott get his new contract for his birthday during training camp in Oxnard? We're there, and if he does, you'll hear about it first. San Antonio Sports Star's coverage of Dallas Cowboys training camp, sponsored by AA Best Bail Bonds and Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. Live all week from Oxnard, California. Continues all week. South Texas, home of the Dallas Cowboys. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Thanks for calling Discover. This is Diego.
Hi, Diego. It's Jennifer Coolidge. You know, I just want to say your cashback match makes me feel so special. It really inspired me.
That's great. Doubling the cashback you've earned at the end of your first year is what we do.
Well, I'm doubling everything now. Double dating, double dipping, double feature, double header, double whammy. You know, basically double or nothing.
You earn, we match. Discover Cashback Match. See terms at discover.com/creditcard.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer whenever I want?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. 94% of Sleep Number smart sleepers report better sleep. J.D. Power ranks Sleep Number #1 in customer satisfaction with mattresses purchased in-store. And now save 40% on the Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. For J.D. Power 2023 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
You've got to watch your NFL team every Sunday, and Verizon's got you covered for all your team's out-of-market games every Sunday afternoon. Come on! From kickoff to sign-off, from first downs and touchdowns
That's right.
to turnovers, no, and overturned plays.
After review, the pass was incomplete.
Nice! Let's go! This season, win every Sunday with Verizon. Get a great deal on NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV and a new phone. Excludes digital-only games. Terms and embargoes apply.
On the battlefield, there's a saying America's military men and women live by. Never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Off the battlefield, Wounded Warrior Project operates with the same goal. Wounded Warrior Project was created to help our men and women returning home with the scars of war, whether those scars are physical or mental. Wounded Warrior Project. We never leave a fallen warrior behind, ever. Learn more about what we do at woundedwarriorproject.org.
Not to brag, but Progressive's Name Your Price tool is mankind's greatest tool ever. Even better than the wheel. Sure, without the wheel, we wouldn't have modern transportation or funny videos of dogs riding skateboards. But without the Name Your Price tool, we wouldn't have easy access to auto insurance options based on our budget. And, well, cars do need wheels. They also need insurance, and insurance never goes flat. Learn more about the greatest tool ever, the Name Your Price tool at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company. State law.
Was here. And if there's two things I can count on, it's my kids needing new outfits because they grow like weeds, and Kohl's stocking their favorite styles. With the back-to-school customer appreciation event going on, I scored 30% off tees, jeans, sneakers, and more when I shopped with a Kohl's card. No card? No problem. Rewards members save 20%, and everyone else saves 15%, plus earn Kohl's cash. When it comes to back to school, you gotta go back to Kohl's. Select styles. Some exclusions apply. Offer ends August 11th. See store or Kohls.com for details.
The Morning Huddle.
Rob is usually about the friendliest, happy-go-lucky guy out there. They done pissed him off. Rob has said cuss words. I don't know if he's mad at the Cowboys.
I'm mad at everything.
Or he's mad at Greg Shelton.
I'm not mad at Greg Shelton. I'm mad at technology in general.
That's an old people thing to say, Rob.
It very is. I'm a Luddite.
The Morning Huddle with AJ and Rob. Weekday mornings, 6 to 10. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Center.
Bad news for the U.S. men's soccer team. They are out at the Olympics, eliminated today by Morocco 4-0. Team USA basketball 2-0 in group play. They continue things tomorrow morning against Puerto Rico at 10:15. Baseball today, the Astros and Rangers both returning from a day off. Astros welcome in Tampa Bay. Rangers welcome in the Boston Red Sox. You can catch that game tonight right here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star at 6:30.
Joe Reinagel.
For the third time in 7 seasons, the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. Our AA Best Bail Bonds Dallas Cowboys training camp coverage continues. Brought to you by Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. Wide receiver Jaylen Brooks, when practice is over, will be by. And maybe Jerry Jones.
We're hoping for that. He is here up in his perch. Practice continues as we speak. So, yeah, hopefully he comes down and we get a chance to visit with him for a few minutes. A lot of questions.
A lot of questions for Jerry Jones. And, you know, there's so many different, well, obviously we'll talk contracts and where they stand right now, and get his thoughts on the fan apathy storyline that is surrounding his Dallas Cowboys, because we know Jerry is certainly very concerned about the fans, although we were just talking to two fans that, you know, this is, you know, it's cool for us. I don't know how much you guys care, but it is cool for us that you meet some fans out here that we were just talking to two dudes that came up during the commercial break, said hello. They don't live in San Antonio, but they appreciate the Cowboys coverage they get from our program, and they came by to say hello. That was a nice compliment.
It really is a good compliment. You got a couple of guys from Dallas that actually listen to us, obviously on YouTube or one of the apps, and yeah, we do appreciate that very much. And hey, we're Dallas Cowboy Station in San Antonio. That's what we do, and so appreciate that they like the coverage.
Absolutely. And then it was Ask Jerry this, and that's what you get into. So it certainly makes it fun. And, you know, people want to know. Guy that we met at McDonald's earlier today when we were getting breakfast. We should have did Spud Nuts, but
you're the one that picked it.
Well, I did.
You did.
Well, and here's why. Because Rob and AJ, they finished their program at 8, and they were in a hurry. They came home without getting breakfast. Spud Nuts doesn't travel as well as, say, McDonald's, because we were picking it up and then coming to the facility. And so it was, you know, 30, 45 minutes after we ordered that we were going to eat the breakfast sandwich. And the quality at Spud Nuts, the eggs that they use and all that kind of stuff, it would have just been the bread would have been a soggy mess. But, you know, just knowing just how good those sandwiches are, but they're not going to travel and wait for an hour, if you will. Where McDonald's, we could have that now and it's still going to be as fresh right now, 5 hours later, as it would have been.
We could have it a month from now, and it would probably taste the same.
Yeah, well, I mean, you know, yeah.
It's kind of like the vegetarian burger I had.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I'm still bitter about. You know, my stomach hurts.
Oh,
really
shut
does.
up.
It kind of hurts right now.
Shut up.
It does.
If I wouldn't have told you, you wouldn't have known, and you would have thought it was a great slider.
It was fine. It does taste like burger. Cooked up sake. And I'd just rather have the cow.
You'd rather have the cow?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the cow's vegetarian.
Well, good for the cow.
Well, I mean, the cow eats grass.
Okay, what does that have to do with me? I don't eat grass.
Well, but you eat cow. I mean, it's close.
I do, yes.
It was just funny because all of us knew. Like, Clay, did you know it was an Impossible Burger when you got yours? He didn't know.
See?
Yeah, I read the sign and was like, yeah, I don't want that.
I was reading signs.
Oh, it's right there.
I see a burger and I see tri-tip, and I'm going, hell, that's for me.
Yeah. I saw tri-tip and I saw Impossible Burger.
Jeez.
And I said, that real tri-tip? Yes, it is. Give me 2 of those.
Wow.
Keep your Impossible Burger.
Absolutely. Yes. So they shouldn't trick you like that. It's really detrimental to my health.
Although I will say, a little surprised at the taste. Although I didn't eat it, but Rob took a bite and said, "You could. If I didn't know, I wouldn't know."
You can't tell. You really can't tell. But now that you know, I don't want to eat another one. They're not good for you. Everybody, they bill them. They add them. Oh, that is not meat. It's this. It's horrible for you. It's awful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Brutal.
My stomach hurts.
Oh, shut up.
Yeah.
Let's do the headline blitz.
This is Jason and Joe's Headline Blitz. 2 guys, 2 opinions, never enough time.
NFL injuries. I don't know if we say this every year, but does it feel like there are more injuries around camp?
Yeah,
around camps.
It does.
In general. I mean, we've had a guy yesterday get needed air life. Other guys getting carted off. There is concern with some injuries early on in camps.
Well, there is, and it's affecting some things. I mean, and it's an opportunity for other guys. I mean, in Pittsburgh, Russell Wilson, he's been injured. Justin Fields has been getting the majority of the reps with the Steelers. You got Justin Herbert, who's going to miss the rest of the preseason. He's out with some sort of foot injury, and it's just. I'm not sure why. Look, I've got a theory. I have nothing to base it on, but I just believe with all of this safety concern for the players, and I'm all for it. Don't get me wrong. I want the players to be safe, but I think when you end a season and you don't have any physical contact for 9 months, I think that's a problem. I really do.
It's I'm sure they'll study it because they study everything, and just kind of go from there. Fortunately, here with the Cowboys, the only major injury to this point has been Sam Williams. So, and hopefully that continues to trend low for the Dallas Cowboys. I know Mike McCarthy, while they have had 5 ACLs the last 2 years, he was saying off to the side with the media, was it yesterday, that, they led the league in fewest soft tissue type injuries and other kind of injuries because, while complimenting the Cowboys training staff. And then we were like, yeah, but what about the ACLs? And he was like, God, why do you guys always look for the negative? But, so I think in some ways the Cowboys do a pretty good job with some of those injuries because it wasn't that long ago. There was seemingly a rash of soft tissue injuries.
Yes. And I was afraid McCarthy was going to hurt himself. It was showing us how he's now a rave dancer, which I found fascinating. He was doing the arms in the air, and I was afraid he was going to separate his shoulder or something.
It's so funny. Mike McCarthy, he does his podium, and then he does the walk and talk, which you don't video. And I used to bitch about this and with Jason Garrett. You're a robot on the podium, and then when you get to know Jason Garrett as a dude, he's a fun guy. Mike McCarthy, it would be fun to take him over to the Roto Room and get a beer, right?
Sure.
So his daughter got married over the off season, and they had a band, and then there was a DJ from midnight to 2 because somebody asked him about being an EDM music fan, and he was like, "Yeah, well, somehow a family friend is this big DJ somewhere. I don't know." And he said this guy was playing the daughter's wedding from noon to 2, and he was dancing. And he said, you start with one hand up in the air and you're doing that until you get tired. Then you put the other hand up. And then he said, my feet never moved, but my hands were going till 2. And I couldn't wait till 2 a.m. rolled around.
Yeah, it was a funny story and everybody was laughing. I mean, you just don't know about some guys. And I would imagine that was pretty comical for everybody that was in attendance watching McCarthy.
It's a style of music.
Oh, it is?
Raves.
EDM.
Yes.
You know what that stands
Electronic dance music.
Oh.
Yes.
Well, they just call it that.
They do. It's called EDM.
EDM.
Yes.
I thought that was the name of a band or something.
No.
Like REM?
Not at all. But REM is good. That is a good band.
You're impressed, aren't you? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
You pulled that one right out of your ass.
I did. Sure did. Yeah.
Do you know who's in REM?
I have.
Can you name an REM song?
No.
All right. Have you ever seen REM?
I've never seen them in person. No.
Okay.
Dude, I don't go to concerts.
Yeah,
like
of course you don't. Well, I do. Michael Stubbs from Copper's Cove.
Well, that's great.
I went to high school with his sister.
You get free tickets or what?
No, he has no idea who I am.
Well, I don't. You got your bands, and that's what you do, and I respect it.
We're gonna go see Sublime tonight.
I'm just I don't even know what the hell they sing.
It's funny because I know you don't. You're gonna know. Pledge, what do you think, Ryan Nagel? Over under 4.5 songs that he's going to know. No.
Under 4, he'll know 2.
I'll know 2.
Really? See, I was thinking he would know at least 5 and 2 really well. Like 2, he could probably sing every word. But I know I've got to believe he knows at least 5. He'll be like, oh, that's these guys.
It's true because I see people all the time, and it's like we saw Russell Dickerson.
Yeah.
And I didn't know who Russell Dickerson was, but then when he started playing, I knew like 5-6 songs that this guy plays. And so I don't, it's just not my thing to know what songs are and the names of the songs and who the bands are. It's just, I've never been a big band guy like that.
I will promise you will have a lot more fun at Sublime than you did at Bob Dylan.
Dude, I could go out and watch the grass grow right now and have more fun than I had at Bob Dylan.
Uh-huh.
So there's that.
Yeah. Yeah. Over there in the Olympics, this might shock you. Our soccer team is out. We kept it close against Morocco. They only beat us 4-0.
Yeah, well, that's great. Why is it the women are so damn much better than the men?
I have no idea.
I mean, it's true. I don't get it. Our men's soccer team is just they're not good.
It's an embarrassment.
It really is.
Yeah.
So they're out.
And staying over with the Olympics, Wemby's having a rough day. Germany kicking France's ass.
Yes,
62-41 right now, late in the third quarter. Wemby just 3 of 9, 1 of 5 from 3. Dude has 7 points.
Now, I don't know what Germany's doing to Wemby, or he's just having a bad day, but I guarantee you every other NBA team in the world is going to find that video and try to figure out a way to stop Wemby the way the Germans are doing it today.
Yeah, it's crazy. But that's where it is.
Interesting.
All right, Jaylen Brooks should be by soon. Maybe Jerry Jones will continue with our AA Best Bail Bonds. Dallas Cowboys training camp coverage coming up here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hey, I want to tell you about the Big Blind. What are you doing tonight? It's Friday night. It'd be a perfect night for you to go over to the Big Blind and check that place out if you haven't done it. Look, if you already have, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It is the best poker room in San Antonio by far. I've been to several, and they don't even compare to what the Big Blind did. It is an upscale environment and just a lot of fun. And you don't have to be an expert poker player to go into the Big Blind. They have tables and games for every one of you. It is just a fascinating thing. They want you to learn the game. They want you to learn at your own pace, and they want you to learn it where you're going to enjoy yourself. So go in there and do that. In fact, they've got a tournament tomorrow. 12:30. They do it every Saturday. It's called Jeff's Journey, and it's an easy buy-in, $25. You go in there, and it's a table full of people of your same expertise, if you will. Even if you're just starting out, that is the game you need to get into tomorrow at the Big Blind at 12:30. But don't wait till then. Go in there tonight and have some fun. They've got food that they'll serve directly to your table. They got a full bar, and they got games on all the TVs. Look, it is from the owners of the Roo Pub and the Angry Elephant. So the Big Blind is locally owned. It is locally operated. That is important. Get down there and check it out. If not tonight, get down there tomorrow afternoon, 12:30. Learn how to play poker so you can play with the big boys the next time. That's how easy it is. Get on down to the Big Blind. You know where it is. It's right there next to the Roo Pub and the Angry Elephant Road.
94.1 FM.
The granddaddy of all hunting shows is back. The 2024 Hunters Extravaganza. August 16th through the 18th at the Freeman Coliseum Expo Hall. Fun for the whole family. Check out our hunting seminars, the latest in hunting equipment, last season's best bucks in our annual deer contest, and for the little hunters, games, live alligators, snakes, and more. August 16th through the 18th at the Freeman Coliseum Expo Hall. For details and tickets, go to huntersextravaganza.com.
George gets justice. Hurt in a wreck? Get George. Hit by an 18-wheeler or commercial truck? Get George. Injured at work? Get George. When you're dealing with personal injury, you need to get George because George gets justice. I'm George Salinas, and my San Antonio-based firm has been recognized across the state of Texas and the United States. Call George Salinas Injury Lawyers today at 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com.
George gets justice. GetGeorge.com.
TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine is excited to announce a partnership that is revolutionizing access to care for orthopedic patients. The HURT app provides free 24/7 access to orthopedic expertise. HURT is the app to have before you need it. Don't wait for an injury to happen. Download HURT now for free, fast virtual access to orthopedic specialists. The HURT app is available online in the App Store and Google Play. Learn more about the HURT app and the OrthoNow Injury Clinic at TSAOG.com.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
The best things in life, they come in twos. 2 scoops of ice cream, 2 tacos. And now for a limited time, get our best deal of the year. Buy any phone when you switch to Consumer Cellular and get 2 months of service free. That's right, the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage as Big Wireless, now with 2 months free. Proof the best things in life really do come in twos. Visit consumercellular.com or call 1-888-FREEDOM. Second and third month of monthly base service fee waived for new customers with the purchase of a phone and activation by September 2nd, 2024. Taxes, fees, and third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
At Lowe's, save big every day. Right now, get a free pneumatic nailer when you buy a pallet of Metabo HPT nails. Plus, save an extra 5% every day on eligible purchases when you use your Lowe's business credit card. Because Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Selection varies by location while supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See sales associate for details. 5% offer subject to credit approval. Exclusions and terms apply. See store Lowe's.com/credit for details.
For more than half a century, contractors and trade professionals have relied on WeatherGuard for heavy-duty truck and van storage equipment. Not just to protect their valuable tools, but to protect their professional reputations. For pros, the WeatherGuard badge makes a statement about what drives them. It says, "Bring it on. Been there. Done that. We've got your back," without saying a word. And the folks at WeatherGuard, they're just as driven as the hardworking pros they serve. See what it means to be driven at weatherguard.com.
Is your everyday congestion preventing you from enjoying life's big moments? Try Vicks Sinex Saline today and get yourself back in the action. Vicks Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion with a gentle ultrafine mist. Sinex Saline's drug-free, no-mess formula instantly moisturizes and soothes dry, irritated nasal passages for quick and effective relief. Get back to enjoying life's big moments to the fullest without having to worry about everyday congestion holding you back. Just Sinex, breathe, use as directed.
This is Andrew Monaco and the Aggies play here. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. I'm Joe Reinagle. Jason Minix is right over there to my right. We're at Cowboys training camp here in Oxnard. Final day for us here at Cowboys training camp. And more of an upbeat day today to end things.
Yeah, the energy around with the fans and you know, even some of the other different people we've been around, players. Mike McCarthy was fun earlier today. Practice is close to wrapping up. I just went and looked on the field. There's, I don't know, feels like half the team is done and the other half, who knows what they're working on. So we do expect wide receiver Jaylen Brooks to be by at any moment. That's kind of the weird thing right here is there's not an exact time. It's, you know, when he's done, and if, you know, let's face it, the young wide receiver, one of those quarterbacks say, I need to throw some extra. You know, number 83 should be the first one to say, I'll stick around.
There's no question about it. And he's third spot for sure with the other Jaylen Tolbert. So going to be interesting to see and fun talking with him to see where he's at and what's happening and how things are panning out, especially with CD Lamb not here. So looking forward to that.
Yeah, it should be interesting. And again, you look at where the Cowboys are right now, and a week into practice, it's the normal what you would expect. And Mike McCarthy certainly talked about that, especially say with offensive linemen. Pad level too high. You've got this, you've got that. But one of the interesting things, and we brought this up yesterday because he started talking about it, going against Mike Zimmer's defense. He's the head coach, but he's also the play caller. So the competition between those guys. And then you think about the different personalities. We've talked to a couple of defensive players this week. Donovan Wilson talking about just the different mindset that Zimmer brings. He'll let you know if you mess something up. Maybe you didn't get that. And Mike McCarthy talked earlier today on the difference in personalities between DQ and Zim.
Yeah, it was, and that was by design. Dan did a great job here. Without a doubt, and had his style, and he had his superpowers that that definitely was reflected in how we played on defense, and has some excellent defenses here. So now that's why it was important. With this, with the opportunity with Mike is to clearly give him the clear slate. That's something that when you look back at experiences in the past. And, even if we call the same thing something different. So, it's his language. It's got to come out of his mouth clean. The adjustments, the history of those adjustments, the approaches particularly, you can see. And I think it's a hell of a job when you recognize, you look at an offensive defensive system, it goes into spring, and you're able to get into your second or first padded practice and have some game-like situations. And we've been creating that for each other, and that's been super cool because you normally don't usually get that to later in the later installs, 7, 8, and then the bonus practices, and we're getting it right now. So I think that'll benefit all of us, and that's a real credit to Mike and the staff and the players to get to that point as quick as they have.
Yeah, I guess so. I'm anxious to see what Mike Zimmer's defense looks like and how it's going to vary or be a little different than Dan Quinn. But Mike McCarthy seems to be excited about Zimmer being here and being the defensive coordinator. And right now, most of the players seem to as well. Now, will that old school style wear thin if things go wrong? It remains to be seen. But right now, it looks like the honeymoon period is well underway.
Yeah, and as Mike McCarthy said today, Zim hasn't gotten soft in his old age.
Yeah, definitely. I think just like anything, when you talk about, Mike Zimmer or guys that have coached in this league, through generations, there's definitely a consistency there in how he goes about it. But yeah, I think, we all recognize things are a little different today than they were 20 years ago. But no, he's definitely, that's who he is at the core.
And that's a good thing, is what I was trying to say. I think it's a good thing. And I think football players, regardless of the level, still need direction. They still need to be held accountable. They still need to be told when they do something wrong. Now, the approach may be different in certain things, but look, I just think that it's a good thing. I really do.
It is a good thing. And, as we continue here live on the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, we get a wide receiver coming in. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. Jaylen Brooks joining us here live on the Blitz here in San Antonio. Now, practice is over. It looks like you've showered, you've cleaned up, you're ready to go.
I haven't showered yet.
Yeah, I haven't showered yet, but you've gotten out of your pads.
Yes,
right. You're like, I got to get out of this. It was hot today.
A little hot, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a little bit humid today. I would say, I felt a little bit underneath my pads a little bit, but other than that, it still feels good.
Jaylen, the people in San Antonio that listen to us right now are going, please cry me a river. It's about 98 degrees in San Antonio today.
Absolutely. Oh, man, I couldn't even imagine. Hey, I feel for y'all, though. I promise you I do.
Well, and you've been in Dallas, but there's something about coming out here. Although when the people here start complaining about the heat, you want to laugh, but you're like, yeah, it is kind of warm today.
Yeah, absolutely. But especially down in San Antonio near the water, you're a little bit close to the water, so it's really humid down there.
Absolutely. Have you been to San Antonio?
I have not, but I've been to Houston. And
Houston's a different kind of heat. You go there and sweat in places you didn't know you had. I mean, you know how that goes. Such an interesting story. Your travels to get to the National Football League. You were at a small school that most people have not heard of. And then from North Carolina, you end up at Tarleton State where you never played. How does a kid from North Carolina even know where Tarleton is?
So one of my mom's good friends actually coaches at he coached at a school out in Missouri. So he has some connects at Tarleton State University, and he told them like, hey, y'all need to check out this kid. And they checked me out, and then that's how we ended up getting in touch once I entered the portal. And then I was like, man, I would love to come check out, the program. At the time, the transfer rules are a little bit different. So they were Division II transitioning into Division I. So that was really the key of me not having to sit out, was me going there. And I fell in love with the place. The place was really nice. It was out the way of Stephenville, but it was still a good college town and everything. Got there. January 2020, and then obviously March happened, COVID and everything, and we just had on going home, coming back, going home, coming back. And at that time, I'm driving, so it's not like I'm just flying every time. So it was in my best interest to be closer to my family at that time. So, and then the season got canceled. So but I still got love for that staff, man. I appreciate them.
Take us back to the draft. Were you concerned that it might not happen, that somebody might not draft you?
It was really a little bit going into the draft. After the combine, I ran a very slow 40, which just plummeted my draft stock. And I was just like, man, that hurt a lot. That hurt a lot. But, my grandmother always told me, if it's for you, then it's for you. If it was for me to get drafted, then it was for me. I don't really like to stress about things that's pretty much out of my control. I just let God handle everything, and he's just going to take care of everything. I just got to seek him first, and then he'll handle the rest. So I appreciate God and guiding me here, because I feel like I fell into a great situation, and I'm so grateful to be here.
Jaylen Brooks joining us here on the Blitz. You talk about the situation, battling for that number 3 wide receiver spot. Now, there's a lot of Jaylens on the team. How do you guys in the wide receiver room and the coaches separate all the Jaylens?
So Jalen Tolbert goes by JT. Jalen Marino Cropper goes by Crop or Cropper. And then I usually go by, at first I was going by JB, but then we have so many JBs either on staff or on the team. So I was like, man, y'all just call me Jay Brooks then. You feel me?
So you're just Jay Brooks. Right?
Yeah, y'all just call me Jay Brooks then. Or if anybody's gonna say Jalen, they'll say Jalen as me. So
you're the Jalen.
Yeah.
So if like mom's voice, somebody screaming Jalen, you're the one in trouble.
Yeah.
see, that's when I'd say, no, I was that Jalen. Right? Is that how it goes?
Yeah.
I was JT. Tell us about training camp, because obviously you guys are getting some more reps. It's unfortunate CeeDee Lamb's not here, but it does give you, the rest of the wide receivers, an opportunity to get a little more look, if you will.
Yeah, and I think it's also good for us, to put ourselves in those pressure moments, where there is no true number 1 guy out there. So we're getting, everybody's best look, and, a defense isn't so heavy on, so concerned about CD. Now they can really get the play ball, and I think it gives us the best advantage to getting better, to being prepped for game days.
You think about CD here, the opportunities. I saw you caught a touchdown today in, what do they call it? The
mojo moment.
The mojo moment. Mm-hmm. You didn't celebrate.
Man, if the play is that spectacular, then I'll celebrate and everything. But man, I'm here for business, so I'm trying to get the business. I'm just trying to step each and every day, and I just feel like I haven't had that explosive camp that I wanted to celebrate yet. So I just want to keep on attacking each and every day. Then I want to celebrate on Sundays. So.
Well, there you go. Although you got to practice your celebrations too. It's the mojo moment. You got to do that.
I do agree that.
I mean, we've seen that before. It's the mojo moment. You get a touchdown. You got to celebrate.
I do agree.
Do you have a touchdown dance?
Oh, I pray my first touchdown is a catch and run. And the first thing I want to do is signal 4, 6, 9. Just to show everybody the combine, just because you run a slow 40 with it, because that was my time at combine. So, I just want to be able to show that. And then, hey, look, y'all Yes, time.
I mean,
so.
I love that. I mean, but 4.69. I mean, that was Ryan Engel's 10. And my 5.
That's fantastic. The wide receiver room, you guys all get along, help each other out, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, man. And that was, like I said, I feel like I fell into a great situation. Especially I miss my boy MG. We was vet heavy last year, so just being able to learn from them and them not being scared to share answers, to what we got going on, because we're strong on our weakest link is as powerful as our top, So I think it's in the, it's just in the nature here, share with the younger guys. So
what would they tell you? Just give me a little bit of it. Say CD or Michael Gallup. What kind of advice would they give you?
Yeah, so I'll start off with CD. CD is big on like no excuses. I want to say last year we're in a walkthrough and I was just jogging off the field and the ball was thrown to me. As I'm jogging off the field, ball is thrown very low and I drop it. He was like, "Don't be dropping that." Like, I was like, "Yeah, I know low ball." He's like, "I don't care. You get paid to do this, don't you?" And I'm like, "Yeah." He was like, "All right, now I want to hear no excuses." So, that MG, just attack every day. And B Cooks, he always says this. He preaches this all the time. Respect the game and they'll respect you back. Don't take this game for granted, man. You got to handle your business each and every day. You got to come perform each and every day.
Jaylen Brooks joining us here on The Blitz. You mentioned Brandon Cooks, and I remember talking to him on Super Bowl Radio Row this past year in Las Vegas. And he, you think about as talented of a receiver as he is, everywhere he's gone, but he's so well traveled and such a vet, and he's got so many different experiences. How much does he teach you guys in the room, not only about playing, but just about life in the league?
Yeah, man. And I think it just goes back to, not taking everything for granted and, just respecting the game. That's something that he preaches a lot, no matter where we're at. We was at his crib in Oregon. He's preaching the same thing. We could be here in Oxnard. He's preaching the same thing. We could be in Dallas. He's preaching the same thing. So I think he doesn't even really have to say much. It's just, you could really just look at him and just see how he handles the game and you could see the respect through his game. He doesn't cut any corners. He's always getting extra work in and, just taking care of all the small details, and the way he takes care of his body is insane. Like we was at his crib and it's like body work. If I'm not lifting, I'm getting body work, or I'm relaxing, or, I'm doing a nice little jog, or I'm doing breathing meditations, so it's just the way he carries himself more than him even having to say anything.
Do you guys, is there a different rotation or a different throw from each of the three quarterbacks? Like I know Dak has his, and then Cooper, and then Trey. Are they different, or is it pretty much the same?
Oh, man, I really don't know, man. I know Trey has a special type of zip on his ball that may seem like it's not coming to you as fast, but it got some zip on that ball.
Okay. Explain this here, because you say, I mean, I'm watching them and his passes aren't as pretty as some of them, right? And then they look like they're floating, some might call them ducks and stuff, but they get there and you hear that pop on the gloves. Is that what you're kind of saying? How does he do that?
Man, Trey is, look, man, he has that strength. I don't know what, like, it just feels, you have to be out there. Like, I have to literally walk you through what I'm exactly talking about. Like, I could just be standing, just spot catching for him, and I could be like, oh, this ball doesn't seem like it's coming as fast. But then, boom, it'll go right through my hands. I'm like, oh, my gosh, that thing has some zip on it. I don't know if it's like the weight of the ball. Some balls are a little bit heavier than some, so I don't really
it depends on if Tom Brady's around.
Nah.
Yeah, no doubt.
But nah, Trey has a strong arm, man. And he's gonna be really good for us, man. Yeah, I just want to see him keep on, coming out here and learning each and every day, man. He's gonna be really good.
So, what does Jaylen Brooks do when he's not playing football?
When I'm not playing football, I'm trying to get good at golf. I'm trying to get good at golf. I try to go to Top Golf as much as I can. I like the bowl. I love the bowl, and I love the grill. I love to cook. I love good food, and like whenever we're done, I love to travel. Those two things I will spend my money on. That
Nothing wrong
well
with that.
done.
All right, so what kind of setup do you have for grilling?
So right now I'm in an apartment, so I'll just use my apartment grill if I'm here and if I'm in Dallas. If I'm at home, I have a two-setter. So I have a gas side and I have a charcoal side.
Okay.
And I also have a smoker at the bottom. But I don't really smoke any of my food really. I like to keep have an eye on that at all times. So I'll usually go on a charcoal. And then depending on what it is, I'll usually start with charcoal to give it that flavor and then move it to the gas side, depending on how much food.
You got to sear it later.
Yeah.
You know, what kind of stuff do you normally think? All right, I'm grilling. I got people over. This is my go-to.
If I got people over, man, you can ask anybody. I'm for sure doing ribs, for sure doing some chicken. Depending on how many people, I'll throw on some steaks and just chop up the steaks. Pretty much like cube them and everything. And then maybe some salmon, some shrimp.
Nice.
And then I usually let my mom take care of the sides on inside the house, because I'm like, when you're on the grill, you're probably going to be on there for 4 or 5 hours. And you're just, so I'll try and get her to do some stuff. And if not, like say if I'm in Dallas, then I'll just do everything beforehand and then like half cook everything and then grill, then come back and finish it up.
All right, now with your ribs, because you're North Carolina.
Yeah.
North Carolina barbecue different than Texas barbecue.
Oh yeah.
Right. No, so when you're doing yours, especially when you're in Texas, I don't want to say which do you prefer, but when you're doing yours, is it more Texas style or Carolina?
Oh, mine is more Carolina style.
All right. So you've got you do St. Louis or baby back?
I usually do baby backs.
All right. Man. So you got your baby backs. Walk me through your process for your North Carolina style ribs.
Yeah, so I can't share too much.
Share it all, brother. It's just us, man.
See, he's trying to get it.
Yeah. First up, take out the membrane out the bottom of the ribs. I'll put some oil on both sides to make sure the seasoning stick to it. I'll first go on with some Saison Goya. It's an orange packet. It gives you the orange color, orange tint to it. I'll go in with some garlic powder, some seasoned salt. The Lowry seasoned salt.
Okay.
I'll do some pepper. I'll do some garlic roasted herb, and then what else will I do? And some onion powder.
Okay.
I'm writing this down, man.
Yeah, that's pretty much it, man.
See, I'm going to pull the recording later and go through this. All right, so you put them on 3 or 4. Do you wrap them at any point?
When I was just at home, I finally started wrapping them in paper.
Oh, you do paper,
and man, it was so good.
Did you add some like brown sugar and butter and honey? You didn't do that?
No, sir. I don't add no sauce to my ribs.
All right. Well, no, not sauce, but
I get exactly what you're saying. Yeah, that glaze on top.
Well, good candy flavors. You don't marinate like
that's more of a Texas style.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So like North Carolina, it's more vinegar. Most people do vinegar base in North Carolina, but I still stay away a little bit from the vinegar. But if I was to make a sauce, I would do like some barbecue with a little bit of vinegar.
All right.
Yeah. You guys should have your own cooking show.
Man,
I'm thinking this.
If y'all want to collab, hey, let's do it.
One of the strangest is of all people, Emmett Smith. He marinates his ribs in Dr. Pepper overnight.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I could do that.
I haven't heard of it.
And then he uses a mustard binder, and I'm with you. Go oil.
Yeah. That's also Texas style as well. Yeah, the mustard binder. Yeah, I've seen it plenty of times.
It works. Yeah. Cooking with Jaylen Brooks here on the Blitz.
Yes, sir. You know it.
I appreciate you stopping by, man.
Absolutely.
Congratulations. Good luck this season. We'll be paying attention to that first touchdown dance. We'll all know what it means.
Absolutely.
Jaylen Brooks here on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Monday on the Morning Huddle, back in the saddle again. We'll look back at training camp and look forward to a busy week for the Cowboys.
Latest with Team USA, the basketball, and we're going to start track and field here soon. Morning Huddle starts at 6 right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Morning 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121.
bailbonds.com.
License number 149.
I'm at the movies, asking people if they'll switch seats with me for $574.
Here, take mine.
So what about $574 if you switch your home insurance to Allstate?
Too much work.
Not if you call them. They handle the switching.
Now that's a plot twist.
Shh. Check Allstate first, and you could save hundreds on quality home insurance today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Based on the national average annual savings for new home insurance customers surveyed in 2023 who switched to Allstate and reported savings. Savings vary.
The best things in life, they come in twos. 2 scoops of ice cream, 2 tacos. And now for a limited time, get our best deal of the year. Buy any phone when you switch to Consumer Cellular and get 2 months of service free. That's right, the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage as Big Wireless, now with 2 months free. Proof the best things in life really do come in twos. Visit consumercellular.com or call 1-888-FREEDOM. Second and third month of monthly base service fee waived for new customers with the purchase of a phone and activation by September 2nd, 2024. Taxes, fees, and third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Testosterone levels in men can start to decrease as early as 30 years old, and long-term health risks can be extremely damaging to your body. Rock's Discount Vitamins carries a variety of natural testosterone boosters that can immediately provide you with more energy, increased libido, increased metabolism, and improve your mood. Rock's Discount Vitamins natural testosterone boosters can even help you build muscle and lose weight faster. With 11 San Antonio locations, visit rocksdiscountvitamins.com. Thanking God and South Texas for all the support.
If you're thinking about a compact tractor and you want the best, you can afford a Kubota. I'm John Ewald with Ewald Kubota. Come into one of our 11 locations and check out our tractor package deals. We're offering 0 down and 0 APR financing for 84 months or up to $3,300 off select compact tractors. With a deal this good, you can afford a Kubota from Ewald Kubota. Check out our package specials at ewaldkubota.com.
Now through September 30th, see us or go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
When you are just craving something salty and packs a crunch, Southern Recipe Pork Rinds is your crunch time decision. Game day just got a whole lot crunchier thanks to the powerhouse snack, Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. We're talking about crispy, golden bites of pure awesomeness. Pork rinds are your MVP snack. And get this, they're low carb and high in protein, so you can keep the energy high without the guilt. Don't settle for ordinary on game day. Grab yourself a bag of Southern Recipe Pork Rinds at HEB today.
You've got to watch your NFL team every Sunday, and Verizon's got you covered for all your team's out-of-market games every Sunday afternoon. Come on! From kickoff to sign-off. From first downs and touchdowns.
That's right.
To turnovers. No! And overturned plays.
After review, the pass was incomplete.
Nice. Let's go! This season, win every Sunday with Verizon. Get a great deal on NFL Sunday Ticket from YouTube and YouTube TV and a new phone. Excludes digital-only games. Terms and embargoes apply.
Every business faces challenges, but complicated, expensive, and uncertain shipping shouldn't be one of them. With USPS Ground Advantage from the United States Postal Service, you can avoid all the noise. No more unexpected surcharges, hidden fees, or complex rate structures. It's just easy, cost-effective, and dependable shipping. Tune your business's frequency to success and turn shipping to your advantage. Learn how at USPS.com/advantage. USPS Ground Advantage. Simple, affordable, reliable.
It's Jason and Joe from the Blitz. Join us at Circa Las Vegas in August for the Circa Sports Ultimate Contest Weekend.
The Blitz will be live at Circa August 22nd and 23rd, and then we're staying for the weekend. Come to Vegas with us for the Ultimate Contest Weekend.
Circa Survivor and Circa Million are back. Enter in Nevada, play from anywhere.
So join the Blitz at Circa Las Vegas. More details and discounted rooms available online at sasportstar.com.
The NFL is on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. Our AA Best Bail Bonds Dallas Cowboys training camp coverage continues here from Oxnard, California, brought to you by Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. Fun interview there with Jaylen Brooks, especially at the end when we started talking about barbecue, and partly because my wife said the other day that she might want ribs this weekend when I get back. So, I might actually try to steal his rib recipe and go that route.
Why would you do that?
What do you mean? Why would I do that?
Why do you want North Carolina ribs? Your wife doesn't want that.
I mean, well, they didn't sound bad.
Well, it doesn't matter. They're not Texas ribs.
Well, I mean, the ribs from then but it's all in how you do them. My way sounds better than his way. I will say that.
I'm just saying.
And I make great ribs.
Maybe you ought to try it Emmett's way.
I can't.
Why? All the Dr. Pepper does is break down everything. It just tenderizes it.
Well, when I've had people's ribs, and it might just be their process, but I know that on probably, 4 or 5 different occasions when I've had people's ribs, and if you marinate your ribs overnight in Dr. Pepper or Coca-Cola or Big Red or whatever it is that you use, and you disagree with this, please let me know what your method is. 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. When I've had ribs that have been marinated like that, they are fall off the bone.
Yes.
Right? Which is part of the goal that you're trying to get. But to me, those ribs taste like cooked them in a crock pot as opposed to a smoker. I like a little tug on the rib, but I don't like that crock pot. It just is more mushy than it is meaty. You know what I mean? And I have found people that use soda to marinate. They all kind of taste like, they were done in a crock pot, and I don't know, because of all the soda, you don't taste any of the smoke that comes along with that.
Well, I just want to know that when we see Emmett at the Super Bowl, you're going to tell him his recipe's full of crap.
Oh, no, Emmett, no, I mean,
I'm just saying. So that's what you're going to tell him?
And if Emmett, we debated on if they were good or not. I mean, I was like, dude, I don't know if I could do that. They told me you got to try them. I said, invite me over, and he's yet to do that. So,
does that surprise you?
If Emmett invited me over, I'll tell him his ribs are great. If they're great, if they suck, they suck. But
you tell him his ribs suck if you were at his house.
I would tell you your ribs suck if I was at your house.
There's a big difference between me and Emmitt Smith.
I mean, this is true, but I'm an honest guy. So,
dude, don't. You sit here and tell me that Emmitt Smith invites you to his house for ribs. You're going to have a rib and it sucks. You're going to walk up to that man and tell him his ribs suck?
No, but I'll tell him. He will know because I won't have more. And there'd be so much tequila at Emmett's house, I probably wouldn't taste anything anyway, and it'd all be good. I'm just saying.
Yes.
But I know with Emmett, he likes to do his on his Big Green Egg. And, so maybe there's more of a smoky flavor with that, but
don't poo-poo it, man.
The overnight marinating, I'm not a fan of. But I like Jaylen's, especially because he's a young kid. For him to be that detailed in his cue, that's good. But North Carolina barbecue is different, and I thought he was going to go just being Carolina, more of a pulled pork.
Yeah.
And coleslaw kind of. That's the trend up in the Carolinas.
Well, North Carolina, beautiful place.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful place. Food was fantastic.
Here we go.
But it's not Texas.
It's not.
It's not. So if you make those ribs like Jaylen Brooks, you better not post a picture of it, or I'm going to shame you from here to Timbuktu.
Well, now, have you ever been to Kansas?
I've never been to Kansas.
All right.
No. It's not on my list.
But you've had Kansas barbecue.
I have.
Yes. You've been to Memphis.
I have.
You like Memphis barbecue?
Delicious, yes.
I prefer Texas. To me, it's Texas, Kansas, and then Memphis. Now, there's good ribs everywhere. Like in Kansas, there's a place called Joe's that, for burnt ends and ribs, that's my favorite spot. Although there's a place there called Slaps that have really good ribs. There's places that boil their ribs. Every different styles. But if I'm at home and I want to try something different and do something different, I'm not going to be shameful of that unless it doesn't turn out well. But I do want ribs.
Well, that's great. So you're going to spend all your only day off this week grilling ribs.
Sounds like a wonderful thing to me. On Sunday, if all I've got to do on Sunday is... Well, I'll get in and I'll just push that suitcase over to the laundry room and I start making some ribs and drinking beer and sitting in my recliner. I'll be happy because that's the one thing that we don't have here at our near the beach house in Oxnard. Our house doesn't have, it's got one couch that is the bed of Klay Thompson. And that poor kid, last night, Rob and AJ go to bed and me and you are sitting there watching 40-year-old virgin of all movies that we could have picked.
That was funny as hell, by the way. It's been a while.
Klay is like, how late do you guys stay
more
bed because the night before kicked his ass. And,
it did.
This poor kid's
Dude,
like how late are you guys going to stay up? And when you're watching 40-year-old virgin with a 23-year-old kid, he laughs at different things than we do, or laughs for different reasons than we were during that movie, because I haven't seen that movie since it came out.
Yeah, it's been a long time, but
and why Rob picked that movie to start watching is beyond me.
Well, I'm glad he did.
It was funny.
It was funny as hell, and I hadn't seen it in a long time either. But last night was great. Steak night. Steaks were delicious, and it was a kind of a chill night. So tonight in Oxnard, it's Friday. Nobody's got to get up at 2:00 in the morning, so we're probably going to have some fun tonight.
Tonight, there's no probably about it. We're heading over to the Ventura County Fair, and we're going to watch a Sublime, which I'm excited to see Sublime. I know you will know some songs, but you don't know their history. So you had Sublime, and their lead singer died. His son has now taken over as the lead singer.
Okay.
So I'm curious what Sublime we're actually getting tonight, because Sublime, they got a new singer back in the day, and they his name was Rome, right? So they were trying to tour Sublime, but because the dead guy owns all the Sublime stuff, they couldn't do that. So they became Sublime with Rome for a long time.
I thought it was his kid.
Well, but now that his kid is in the band, it's back to Sublime. So I don't know if we're seeing Sublime tonight or Sublime with Rome. I'm guessing it's going to be the kid, but it's going to be good either way.
So wait.
Here we go.
You lost me.
I figured I would. It was easy.
The kid's name's not Rome.
No.
Okay, Rome is just some cheese ball they brought in.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, but now the kid may be back, and if the kid's back, he can sing Dad's songs.
Yes. And with some videos I've seen, sounds a lot like his dad.
Okay.
Brandon.
I think it's Rome. I thought I saw that on the website.
Well, I think probably when they booked it, because this was a recent development, when they booked it, it was Sublime with Rome. But now that the kid has taken over, this is recent, like in the last couple months that his kid joined the band.
I'm honored that the guy that died, he didn't, just let Sublime take over his music.
Well,
and some dude named Rome.
Well, see, he didn't have anything to do with it because he's dead. The family were like, you can't make money off of,
exactly.
Yeah, so you know how that goes.
All right. Jeez. I'm just going to eat
You're
and
going
drink.
to drink beer.
I'm going to eat and drink. All right. That's all I'm doing.
I out of curiosity, because you had a look on your face when this lady was telling us this earlier. A lady came by earlier from the Ventura County Tourism. That's got to be a tough gig. And she was telling us about the fair. And she was like, oh, it's great. She's naming a couple of the restaurants, suggesting, and I already forgot what they all are, but they were seafood places. And the look on your face was, I ain't eating seafood at a fair. And I said to her, I don't know if I could do seafood at a fair. And she was like, well, the restaurant's not far away, and it's one of the best restaurants, and they're bringing it over. So it's not like they're cooking fresh fish at the fair.
Dude, I've had more seafood this week than I've had in the last 6 months. So I'm good with that. And that's why the steak was great last night. A nice corny dog, or I don't know, some kind of carnival food or state fair food or whatever the hell it is.
Well, we're getting sushi for dinner.
Maybe one place was full. We couldn't get a reservation.
Yeah, but AJ Hoffman said he got another place that we were going to.
All right. Well,
when they left out of here, my understanding is there is a sushi restaurant that we're going to tonight. You're good with that?
I'm fine with that.
Okay.
I'm fine with that. Those dudes are going to be 3 sheets of the wind by the time they get back here.
Only 3?
Yeah. Are you kidding me? They're like caged animals let loose because they don't have to worry about getting up at 2:00 in the morning. And those two are going to be they're going to be comical tonight.
It's going to be an Uber night for sure.
Yeah, no doubt.
Especially because that was the best tip that lady gave us. Yeah, parking at the fair sucks and it's expensive, or you're walking 5 miles.
Yeah, so take an Uber.
Take an Uber.
That's the best thing to do, and that's what we'll do.
Always the best thing to do. That is for sure.
Bear County Social, let me just clear this up. Says what? No Nobu this year? No, there is no Nobu this year. It's going to be next week.
Yeah.
And we're going to be gone. So apparently that's the only night they could get.
Yeah, apparently next Tuesday is the big media party.
Which I find, if Jerry Jones called my restaurant, I would give a damn what. you want.
You know, the problem is in Los Angeles, there are lots of people that have equal money and clout as Jerry Jones.
I don't know.
And if they're trying to book that, now my other thought is, who dropped the ball on planning? Because,
exactly.
You know, this is an annual thing. Like when you're making the reservations, or is Jerry being cheap?
No, stop.
No. Think about this. Every San Antonio TV station is already gone.
Right.
We're wrapping up our broadcast here in Oxnard today. The Ticket in Dallas, they're wrapping up their
yes.
The Fan, 105.3 The Fan in Dallas. There will be 0 radio stations out here broadcasting live next week. So, and the majority of the TV stations have come and gone. There'll be a handful from Dallas that are up there, but you know, between all the radio stations, there's probably 35, 40 people that are here this week that won't be next week.
So you think Jerry's being cheap?
I mean, 2 plus 2?
Dude, stop it.
All right, you're right.
Stop it. I've seen those no-boo parties, and I guarantee you they're not cheap.
No. And they've always been packed before.
And I would think just renting that place out there on the patio or whatever, the deck, right on the ocean.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Is expensive in itself.
It's beautiful.
So I'm a little bitter. There's no chance we can talk to bosses and let them stay a few extra days?
No chance.
Okay.
No,
just checking. I just want to throw it out there.
No chance. Dak Prescott on the podium right now here in Oxnard as we continue with our training camp coverage brought to you by AA Best Bail Bonds. And as you know, it's a Friday. You all have your weekend plans. Nobody ever plans on getting arrested, but it does happen to a lot of people every day for all kinds of reasons. If you get arrested, you want to get out of jail fast. The best way to do that is by calling my good friend Albert and his great staff at AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747, or you can start the bonding process online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else to get out of jail, and you don't want to be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you a PR bond, make sure you truly understand what those conditions are before accepting it. Your best option for stress-free bail bonds is AA Best Bail Bonds, because nobody beats their price. They offer payment plans, have a free shuttle service. They are discreet and confidential and open 24/7 with offices all over San Antonio and Texas, services nationwide. If you're up in Dallas, down in Corpus, anywhere in between, license number 149, call AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121, or go online at mybestbailbonds.com.
Full coverage of Dallas Cowboys training camp live from Oxnard, California. KTFM, Floresville, 94.1, San Antonio's Sports Star.
Hi, everybody. Scott Innes here. For 25 years, I've been voicing lovable cartoon dogs like Scooby-Doo, Astro. Hey, I love puppies and dogs. And now I get to help pets that need a voice to save their lives. That's where the Puppy Food Bank comes in. The Puppy Food Bank helps pet rescue organizations so they can feed puppies. For just $11 a month, you can save a pet's life. Go to puppyfoodbank.org now and donate, and they'll send you a nice gift. Puppy Food Bank is proudly supported by Thomas J. Henry.
The biggest pro football contests in Vegas are back. Circa Survivor and Circa Million are now up to a record $16 million in guaranteed prizes. 2 ways to win and no rate. Circa Survivor contestants select one team each week with no point spread. Last the longest to win it all with $10 million guaranteed. In Circa Million, make 5 picks against the spread each week for your share of $6 million guaranteed through quarterly and full season payouts. Enter in Nevada. Play from anywhere. Visit circasports.com for details.
Hi, I'm Cesar Milan. People are always commenting on how healthy my dogs are. One of the reasons is the food my dogs eat.
Dr. Marty's Nature's Blend is a premium freeze-dried raw dog food designed to support your dog's health, happiness, and lifespan. Save up to 54% off Nature's Blend and get a free bag of cod Krispies. Go to drmartypets.com/good or text GOOD to 511-511.
Your order is back with a 90-day guarantee.
All dogs are unique. Your dog results can and will vary. Message and data rates may apply.
All right, when it comes to getting life insurance for your family, a lot of excuses can get in the way. But ask yourself this: if something were to happen to me, who would pay the mortgage, the kids' education, and the other bills? Then forget the excuses and check out Ethos Life, the online, easy way to get life insurance in 10 minutes. Ethos has rates that you can afford, like a $500,000 policy for a 40-year-old male starting at $1 a day or $30 a month with a Get your free quote right now at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com. Not available in all states. Rates do vary.
Did you know your skin is the largest organ of your body? Huh? That's why you should shower with Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash instead of plain old bar soap. Love your skin by super hydrating it with vitamin B3 and glorious notes of vanilla and shea. Did you know that my super hydrated skin is the second largest organ of my body? The first is my heart. Old Spice. Men have skin too. Old Spice Super Hydration Body Wash. 24/7 renewing moisture. With daily use.
If you're looking to get a new car, you could really cut expenses by bundling your car and renter's insurance with Progressive. Sure, you love your old car, but you know it's not normal to give instructions on how to open the window. It should be self-explanatory, but it's not. And notice how when you're in other people's cars, you can feel cushion in the seats? That's pretty nice, right? No, it's just normal. So bundle your renter's and car insurance with Progressive and put the savings toward a new car. It's time. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company coverage provided and serviced by affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for up to half the cost. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Savings based on cost of consumer cellular single line 1, 5, and 10 gig data plans with unlimited talk and text compared to lowest cost single line postpaid unlimited talk, text, and data plans offered by T-Mobile and Verizon January 2024.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star and the Gomez Law Firm present the first annual Back to School Drive this Saturday from noon till 2 p.m. while supplies last at Gomez Law Firm, 2943 Moss Rock Drive. Free backpacks and school supplies for all school-aged children, only while supplies last, so don't be late. This Saturday from noon to 2 p.m. at Gomez Law Firm, 2943 Moss Rock Drive. Presented by the Gomez Law Firm and in part by ProStar Home Care Services, Sonora Bank, Las Palapas, and 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. 94.1 FM. San Antonio's Sports Center.
Well, in the wake of the Sam Williams injury, the Dallas Cowboys are signing free agent defensive ends Al-Quadin Muhammad, formerly the Saints, Bears, and Colts, and former Commanders defensive end Shaka Toney, who was a teammate of Micah Parsons at Penn State. U.S. men's soccer team out at the Olympics. They were eliminated today by Morocco 4-0. And Team USA is 2-0 in group play. They continue their basketball antics against Puerto Rico tomorrow.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas Authority in Barricade Rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
Joe Reinagel.
That's the third time in 7 seasons the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. Our AA Best Bail Bonds Dallas Cowboys training camp coverage continues here from Oxnard, brought to you by Southern Recipe Pork Rinds.
Absolutely, and it's, winding down quickly for us.
Yeah. It's been a long, fast week, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does, because that's the way it always is. A lot of work out here, and I know everybody's feeling sorry for us, but it really is.
Work.
Nice place to work, though. But it is the days are busy, and they go by quickly. But we try to mix in a little fun along the way, and we've done that. But it's been a good week.
It has been a good week. And I tell you what, the week for young Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson is Rob's son.
Yeah.
His youngest. Just graduated from Texas A&M and future lawyer. But in between, I don't know what you call it, your gap year, until he figures out what he's really going to do. I mean, right now he's, and I think kids these days have this ability to stay on the payroll without doing anything in the process.
It's called the F-off year.
Yeah,
that's what it's called.
Well,
yes.
and again, I mean, the dude, went and ran bulls with bulls in Spain. I mean, he's all over. He had a woman hitting on him earlier today.
He did.
Now, Klay Thompson, how tall are you, Klay? 6'7", 6'5". He's 6'5". He's 23. He's tall. He's standing over here, and this woman's talking about his give a damn about his hat. And he had no sense that she was hitting on him. None whatsoever.
Yeah.
None whatsoever. And he's like, well, gross. She was like 40. And here I thought she was like 60.
Nah, she didn't look that bad. She didn't look that bad at all. I mean, my question is, what's wrong with 40? That woman would have given you an education you couldn't pay for.
This is true.
I'm telling you.
Which is why she was flirting with him.
Of course.
But he had no sense whatsoever that that's what was going on. He was trying to give her the history of his hat. Like she gave a damn. She could, but that's what started the conversation.
That's all right.
Like she was a pro,
Sure.
I mean, I say a pro. I mean, she wasn't a pro in that way, but I mean, how do you start a conversation with somebody? You find something and you start a conversation. And his Aggie education, it didn't dawn on him at all. All of us were sitting there as Dak Prescott just walked by. All of us sitting there and laughing because we could tell what was really happening, and he had no clue whatsoever.
No. Well, that comes with youth. I mean, youth.
Well, no, I think for him it was more disgust. Like,
well, I don't know why.
This woman is 40. Gross.
Dude, I'm going to tell you something. When I was in high school, and I was a lifeguard at Alice Country Club.
Here we go.
Those 30-year-old women, it was like
what? What?
My gosh, are you kidding me? As it was a dream as a 17-year-old kid. You see all those little 30-year-olds dragging their kids around, but it's like, damn. I mean, it was. I've always been a fan of that. Not anymore, but back in that day, I was. Although I'm not. You know what I'm talking about. I'm just saying.
If you had a pulse, you were interested.
No, but I'm just telling you, and that's what Clay has to get over, that whole age thing. I mean, my goodness, dude. Yeah, that's an education that 4 years at A&M couldn't pay for. All right.
And again, you think about when you were in high school. I mean, and I don't know if it was always happening. But it seems like you see all these stories in the news about, students and their teachers in high school. I mean, I always thought, it was that you did try to get somebody that was a little bit older.
Yes.
And Clay was like, oh, gross.
Well, I tell you what, Clay, it's a missed opportunity, buddy. I would rethink that attitude if I were you.
Well, and
just saying.
See, but Clay, out here, I mean, all the ones that he happens to be talking to. And, I don't know how good his game is because, all of a sudden, where's Clay? And he's over there and there's, all the cowboy intern girls, and he's over there talking with them. And damn well he's trying. And then he's like, but I'm sleeping on the couch with my dad and 3 old dudes. And it's funny because
they have houses here.
Well, I mean,
hotel rooms.
They're probably sharing rooms. And I'm thinking, well, he went to A&M. Yeah, I mean, there's been worse. I mean,
slumber party.
Well, yeah, exactly.
With the interns.
I mean, the other day, Clay was like, "Hey, I'm gonna take the van. I'm gonna go get a soda and a bag of chips."
Yeah,
I thought he was, all right. Well, he might have met somebody. He was back in 8 minutes. Like, dude,
let me brag on Clay for a minute because we're at the Hollywood Bowl the other night, and you and I.
His mom might be listening. Be careful.
Well, that's all right. This is nothing she hadn't heard before.
Oh,
you and I just got a beer because there's a little beer cart right there, and we see Clay over there, and he's taking pictures, but right in front of Clay, all I saw was a very short skirt.
Very.
And
very
Clay's,
short.
well, I'm just going to stay here a minute. I got pictures to take, and yeah, right, dude. Sure.
And then, again, he is 6'5".
Yes.
He didn't have to stand next to her to take pictures. He could have just taken pictures over her. But all of a sudden, he's standing next to her, and then all of a sudden, I think she's putting her number in his phone. Although, according to my daughter, the latest trick is when a guy hands a girl their phone, they put your number in my phone, they're Venmoing themselves money.
Really?
Well, because I've got the dude's phone. Send some money.
Well, that's not the case.
Now, my kid says she hasn't done that yet, but that's become a thing. She used to give out the financial aid office phone number for Sam Houston State.
Really?
Was her deal.
Oh, okay. Instead of a real number.
Number.
I got you.
If it was somebody that she didn't want to have the real number.
I'm just saying, play. That was well played.
I mean,
man, well played.
Look, there were a couple of times, I mean, it looked like he was in the game, and then all of a sudden, nothing.
I just loved it. He just looked back with a straight face. So I'm just going to take a few more pictures. I'm sure you are.
Well, I do have a feeling that tonight at the Ventura County Fair, he is going to do everything he can to ditch the 4 old guys.
I wouldn't be surprised. That's what I would do.
Well, absolutely. I mean, when he was like, all right, I got the address to the house. What time are you guys leaving in the morning? And when he was asking what time are we leaving in the morning, my guess is he's on an adventure tonight to make sure California was worth it.
Sure.
Right?
Now, I don't know if Oxnard or Ventura is the place to, go prowling around, but.
Have you not been paying attention, sir?
Well, I mean, at the Hollywood Bowl, it was different.
I'm saying we're not going to the Rudder Room tonight.
Well, it's a good thing. Don't knock it till you try it, though,
I'm just saying, he likes them with teeth, apparently. So, but I'm guessing
he doesn't know what he's missing. Are you kidding me? Poor guy.
Wow. Huh. Yeah.
Wow.
Interesting.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, very, very interesting.
Of course it is.
Always. Always interesting. Never seen Clay turn red before.
I know. We're embarrassing the hell out of that poor young man.
I was about to put him on camera, and he is just completely shut down his computer so he can't be on camera. But look how red. Yeah. Oh, you're going to blame the sun. Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Are you going home with us tonight, Lay? Or are you trying to ditch us? Yeah, well, no, later tonight at the Ventura County Fair. Uh-huh. Yeah. Exactly.
We'll find him. He'll be riding the Ferris wheel with
Have you ever hit on
lady.
girls in front of your dad before? You got to make him proud tonight. This weekend.
Oh, my.
When your dad is your wingman.
That's not good.
Well, you never know.
That's not good.
You never know. We went to a meat market yesterday looking for steaks because we're out here in Oxnard every year. It's our tradition. We do a steak night party at the near beach house that we're staying in. And the meat market we went into is nothing like what I'm used to at Tri-County Meat Market. When you want the best, you need to get into Tri-County Meat Market because that great meal starts with great meat, and there is no better place than at Tri-County Meat Market. They're 2 great locations, locally owned and full service. They have everything you need to up your grilling game. You want some steaks, you want some nice bone-in ribeyes, maybe a tomahawk, whatever steak you're looking for, they've got it there for you. Chicken, beef, ribs. You want to do beef ribs. I think I'm going to do some St. Louis-style pork ribs this weekend. You want to do English crosscuts. Tri-County Meat Market has what you need with the quality you expect, and you can always take advantage of their Pick 5 for 25. Tri-County always offers a 10% discount for military and first responders. 2 great locations on Ralph Fair Road and on Huebner, or online at tricountymmeat.com.
San Antonio's Sports Star.
The granddaddy of all hunting shows is back. The 2024 Hunters Extravaganza. August 16th through the 18th at the Freeman Coliseum Expo Hall. Fun for the whole family. Check out our hunting seminars, the latest in hunting equipment, last season's best bucks in our annual deer contest, and for the little hunters, games, live alligators, snakes, and more. August 16th through the 18th at the Freeman Coliseum Expo Hall. For details and tickets, go to huntersextravaganza.com.
Today only, I-10 Ice House is hooking you up with $2 burger and chips until 8 o'clock. And don't forget daily happy hour specials that'll keep your spirits high and your wallet happy. The best seats are at I-10 Ice House on 9518 Console Drive.
Testosterone levels in men can start to decrease as early as 30 years old, and long-term health risks can be extremely damaging to your body. Rock's Discount Vitamins carries a variety of natural testosterone boosters that can immediately provide you with more energy, increased libido, increased metabolism, and improve your mood. Rock's Discount Vitamins natural testosterone boosters can even help you build muscle and lose weight faster. With 11 San Antonio locations, visit rocksdiscountvitamins.com. Thanking God and South Texas for all the support.
Hi, April Lancieri here from the Ansira Auto Group.
And Danielle Gunter, Executive Director of Texas Yes, here to tell you about the Drive Away for Education raffle sponsored by the Ansira Auto Group. Proceeds directly benefit Texas schools and students.
And now you can help by purchasing raffle tickets.
Nissan, Jeep, Volkswagen, or Kia.
Plus, there's a chance to win additional prizes through our weekly drawings, a shopping spree, or a gas card.
Get your raffle tickets today at TexasYesProject.org.
Winner responsible for tax title license and federal withholding.
It's Jason and Joe from the Blitz. Join us at Circa Las Vegas in August for the Circa Sports Ultimate Contest Weekend.
The Blitz will be live at Circa August 22nd and 23rd, and then we're staying for the weekend. Come to Vegas with us for the Ultimate Contest Weekend.
Circa Survivor and Circa Million are back. Enter in Nevada, play from anywhere.
So join the Blitz at Circa Las Vegas. More details and discounted rooms available online at sasportstar.com.
Concerned about age-related macular degeneration, or AMD? If you're over 50, then you should be. AMD impacts as many as 1 in 10 Americans over 50, severely impacting your vision and robbing you of your ability to drive, read, and enjoy the vibrant beauty of life. Now, protecting your eyes is easier thanks to New Nordic's Blueberry Eye Supplements. Specifically formulated to improve eye health, New Nordic's Blueberry Eye Supplements not only protect your eyes, but help improve night vision, as well as helping to relieve eye fatigue caused by digital devices. Only New Nordic uses wild Swedish blueberries because of their superior concentration of color pigments, which are vital to eye function and health. New Nordic's Blueberry Eye Supplements are Scandinavia's #1 selling natural eye formula, but now you can find them at Amazon.com or NewNordicUSA.com. Enjoy healthy vision with New Nordic's Blueberry Eye Supplements. Available now at Amazon.com or NewNordicUSA.com.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, it's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
How about them Cowboys? What will the Cowboys defense look like under new defensive coordinator Mike Zimmer? San Antonio sports star relocates to California's Golden Coast to find out.
You asked for it, you got it.
Coverage of the Cowboys' week-long training camp in Oxnard is brought to you by AA Best Bell Buns and Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. Continues all this week. South Texas, home of the Dallas Cowboys. 94.1 San Antonio sports star. It's the Blitz with Jason and Joe on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. We are the South Texas home of the Dallas Cowboys. He is Joe Reinagle. I'm Jason Minix. Our AA Best Bail Bonds Dallas Cowboys training camp coverage continues. Brought to you by Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. We were told yesterday, tentatively, Jerry Jones could be doing the car wash, which means doing all 3 of the radio stations that are out here doing interviews with, exclusive interviews. That didn't happen yesterday. Today we were told it might happen. Now we're told it's not going to happen.
Yeah, unfortunately.
And we don't know why. It's disappointing what we we were told later on in camp, Jerry Jones will call in to the show. And who knows, although I get the feeling that maybe he just doesn't want to talk contracts anymore. And I say that because he literally said that today. While he didn't do radio interviews today, he was coming off the practice field, stopped by some of the writers and talked briefly with the writers. John Machota from The Athletic, who will join us here on the tennis courts in about an hour, tweeted out, Cowboys owner Jerry Jones on contract talks with CeeDee Lamb. Quote, they're just progressing in my mind. On Dak Prescott's contract, quote, I would say that we're talking. I would not have a legitimate progress point there at all. And I really don't have it for Lamb either. And it's not negative. It's just thinking it wouldn't do any good to talk about progress. Asked, one closer than the other. Quote, not necessarily. I just don't want to talk about it. End quote.
Look, and I understand that. I get it. Because if he did the car wash here with all the radio stations, he's going to get the same questions, get the same answers about contract stuff. And obviously we'll talk about other things too. But that's what's top of everybody's mind. Yep. So until something is done or decided one way or the other, I get it. And so we'll see. But they did tell us that once things are worked out as we progress over the next days, weeks, whatever it is, that Jerry will address it with us specifically we'll go from there.
Read into it what you want. You can go a couple of different ways. If he doesn't want to talk about it, does that mean it's getting close and he doesn't want to negotiate through the media anymore because that is done? Or are they so far apart, he's got to deal with the reality that they're not going to get done? Dak Prescott takes the podium just a couple of minutes ago, and, of course, he was asked about his contract situation.
I don't think that's pressures or I'm necessarily worried about the talk. I've got a great team. I'm confident in getting something done, confident in the front office here. And I don't really think about it, to be honest with you. As I said the first day, I'm under contract right now, so all I need to do is be the best that I can be for my job and this year, and then whatever happens, whether it's in a couple of weeks, who knows when it is, if it does happen, it'll happen. I'm not worried about that. And as I said, I've got people that are handling that with the front office here and a lot of confidence in it.
Yeah, and look, just that quote in itself, that comment by Dak Prescott is the same thing he said for the last, month.
Yeah.
And so nothing has changed. And while there are other questions to ask both Dak and Jerry, we'll get that opportunity, and we will. I trust that we will.
Well, and again, I mean, you look at, I mean, the idea for Dak Prescott, whether they're close, whether they're not close, he is comfortable in his own skin. We saw his girlfriend and little baby out here earlier today.
Absolutely.
They're celebrities. It was kind of interesting because fans were stopping to take pictures with Dak's baby. Like, hey, I can't get a picture with Dak, but I can get a picture with his DNA. I mean, it was just, but with that happened right behind our tent.
Yeah,
we're in the background of those photos. I find it interesting, just having covered Jerry for all these years, as you have, that he's at a point where he's tired of talking about it. Welcome to our world. Every fan is exhausted about these damn contracts. Every talk show host is exhausted about these contracts. And I think for the most part, at least with CeeDee Lamb, we feel like it's going to get done, so just get it done. Dak is a bit of a wild card. I still think it gets done. But at the same time, if he starts the season without one, I think he hits free agency and tests the market.
I do too, and I think that's already been decided in my mind. It's been decided. I think that's what's going to happen. He's not going to get a contract. He's going to play on his current one this year, test the market next year. CeeDee Lamb, I've been on record saying, I wish he wasn't holding out. I wish he was here and playing, because I just think it's a year early for him. However, he is, and he's doing that. I read Jerry's comments as he's just frustrated as hell.
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't think that it has anything to do with him being close. I look at it just the opposite. I think we're far apart. And I think Jerry's frustrated by that and doesn't want to continue to talk about it, which he would have had to do with 3 different radio stations ad nauseum. So,
but when was the last time you heard Jerry say, I'm not talking about something? I'm tired of talking about it.
It's been, I don't know if I've ever heard him say that, to be totally honest with you. That's why I think there's a lot of frustration there. I think they've offered contracts to both. Now, I don't know what those contracts are. Maybe they're both laughable contract offers, but there's nothing done. And I think he's frustrated. I really do. That's the sense that I get. Obviously, we didn't hear from Jerry. You read a quote, but just the words that he used, I'm tired of talking about it. I think he's frustrated, and I don't think things are going well.
Well, and again, you could read it a lot of different ways, and it could, until we find out. I don't know that anybody's wrong.
Right. Sure.
I mean, I know the only other times I've heard Jerry kind of get mum is when something was close, but it doesn't feel close.
No.
And I'd be surprised, but maybe not, if Dak truly has no idea how the progress is going. I don't get the sense that Dak wants a daily update from his agent. When it's at the right moment, and he's kind of said this in the past, when it's at the right moment, that's when his team gets with him and they discuss all the options. In between, especially out here at camp, let them figure all that out. They know what they want. They've already decided that in their meetings, and until there's a reason for them to call Dak, I mean, could you imagine getting a daily update on your negotiations from your agent with the guy that you spent so much time with in a building? I think I know some people would want to know. I don't get the sense that Dak does. He just seems so comfortable in his skin when it comes to this, and we've seen him bet on himself a couple of times already and win, including breaking his leg and still getting paid. And that's why you want the guarantees, because an injury could keep you from getting paid, and it didn't stop Dak Prescott from getting paid.
No, it didn't. But keep in mind, that was, 4 years ago?
Yeah.
And the Cowboys were still riding on potential at that point in time. Now, are they? Or have they had enough? And that's the question. Has Dak had enough? All of those questions. But I read into it that Jerry's frustrated. I don't think they're close. Dak's going to go play football. He's still going to get paid very handsomely this year. And he's going to go play football, and it behooves him to play his best football this year. And if he can match last season, I mean, God bless him. That would be wonderful for him, whether he stays here in Dallas or ends up somewhere else. Because if he has another season, regular season like he had, that's only going to up the ante for people that are interested in him. So we'll see, but it does not appear from where I'm sitting that things are going well with either one of those contracts. And perhaps CD is dug in, Dak is dug in, and they're just not they're not listening to the Cowboys at this point in time.
And when you think about CD being dug in, the idea of, because I just saw something, about the fines adding up. The fact that the Cowboys can waive his fines and are likely to waive the fines. I can't guarantee that they would, but that does change your holdout situation than, like, say, Zach Martin was in last year when he held out, where the Cowboys can't, because of the CBA, waive his fines at $50,000 a day. CeeDee Lamb is getting fined $40,000 a day that he misses, but the Cowboys can waive those. It's almost like, all right, do you ever send your kids upstairs and, all right, you go upstairs, you're on restriction, no supper for you, and then you take them a plate of food? That's kind of what CeeDee Lamb is doing right now. I mean, he the idea that he could dig in and miss camp and know likely that those fines get waived, or a good portion of them get waived, if not 100%. But I would expect it'll be all smiles when that deal gets done. And yeah, we're not going to take that money from you.
No, I'm sure that hasn't been mentioned, or maybe it has in the negotiations. Who knows? But it's adding up very quickly. When you look at camp started last Wednesday, we're 10 days in, 9 days in? Just do the math. That's a lot of money at $40,000 a pop. So, a lot of money there. I wish there was better news for Cowboy fans, because I know they're anxious to see this happen. And I just wish, and I don't know, there's so much blame to go around here that everybody wants to throw it on Jerry and Steven. And I just don't, I'm just not convinced that it is all them. CD comes out early. Whether the Cowboys were expecting that or not, who knows? I have a feeling they probably were. And then Dak, who knows what his demand is? I mean, it most likely his final big contract, whether it's with the Cowboys or somebody else, this is his last opportunity to really cash in big. But Dak's he's already got generational wealth when it comes to that. So,
and being a quarterback, he's going to make more money.
Absolutely.
Throughout time, just, basically doing whatever it is he might want to do. And you look at whether it's Tony Romo or you look at Troy Aikman, they're, continuing to cash in on fame that started with the Dallas Cowboys. And, whatever, if Dak wants to go into broadcasting or, from the business side of things, the relationships that he has met, although Tony Romo is proof that you don't have to have Super Bowl wins to cash in on that fame. Troy Aikman's got, at least he's got those rings. So you just look at that and go from there. And I know, you see the comments on YouTube, Dak has to go. We met a dude at McDonald's today.
Same thing.
He wants everybody gone, including Jerry. So it is interesting. But again, I go, I'm not married to Dak, but who are you going to get that's better than Dak Prescott?
You're not, Jason. And if that's what you're waiting for, that's a false fantasy. You're not going to get somebody that's better.
Can I get somebody that's going to give us better results?
Well, you don't know, because what you're going to have to do if that happens, you're going to get a young kid. You're going to get a rookie quarterback. grow with. I don't want to get rid of Dak until we have somebody better. That's not going to happen.
Well, because Dak is really good at his job. But my point is, and I'll be clear, because clearly I'm not. The Cowboys have done nothing to this point to prepare for life after Dak Prescott. There's no succession plan. The future quarterback, Dak's replacement, isn't here at training camp. It ain't Trey Lance and it's not Cooper Rush. For 2 years, every draft somebody that you could groom to be that guy.
Sure.
Green Bay is the latest example of doing that.
The Atlanta Falcons, I'll give them a lot of credit for doing what they did by drafting Michael Penix.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and even though it pissed off Kirk Cousins, who cares? He sits behind Cousins for a year or for two. He's ready to roll. I honestly believe, and this is what I believe, that when the Cowboys saw that Trey Lance was available, they gave up a 4th-round pick for this guy. They thought that they could mold him into something. It doesn't appear that that's happening out here from what we've seen. But I have to believe that was their thought, that we can get a 3rd overall pick, the guy that's got obviously all the tools. I'm just not sure he's got it all upstairs when it comes to football and playing quarterback. And let's face it, I don't care what team it is. Anybody play quarterback in the National Football League, you got to be a smart man.
Yeah.
You have got to be a very smart man. So maybe that's where he's struggling and in some other places, not to mention he's raw. But I have to believe that that's what the Cowboys were thinking, that we can get this guy. This is our succession plan, and we'll see what we can do with that. Thus far, that has not worked.
No, and again, you think about where the Cowboys are with Dak Prescott. Troy Aikman had some very interesting things to say about Dak today on the Pat McAfee show. And when Troy talks, you listen. We'll hear from Troy Aikman on Pat McAfee coming up here on the Blitz as we continue with our AA Best Bail Bonds Dallas Cowboys training camp coverage brought to you by Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. If you're watching on YouTube, you see that great polo shirt that Ryan Eagle is wearing with the 94-1 logo on it. It's from Sammy's Embroidery and Printing down on San Pedro. If you're a business owner, a manager, a club leader, you need your logo on any kind of gear, you need to go see Sam. Whether you want that logo on a nice golf shirt like Ryan Eagle has, or AJ Hoffman, he was wearing one this morning, a fishing shirt like what Rob wears, Sammy will get you taken care of. If you need t-shirts screen printed, go see Sam. And if you need caps, man, Sam has over 25,000 caps and more than 75 color combinations on display right now in his showroom, just waiting for your logo. And he's got all the big cap brand names like Katie Caps, Richardson 112 style trucker caps, Nike, Pacific, Cap America in stock. Sammy's Embroidery and Printing. Nobody has better prices. Sam has all the big name brands, and he's the only company in Texas with one-day turnaround. No order too small, certainly no order too big. Call 210-824-3900. 824-3900. Or better yet, go by that massive showroom on San Pedro, 1 mile inside Loop 410, next to Big Lots across from McDonald's, or check the website, samsembroidery.com for Sammy's Embroidery Club.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Monday on the Morning Huddle, back in the saddle again. We'll look back at training camp and look forward to a busy week for the Cowboys.
Latest with Team USA, the basketball, and we're going to start track and field here soon. Morning Huddle starts at 6. Right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Morning 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Over the past decade, the Roo Pub has proven to be the best place to watch games with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. All the games, all the UFC fights, and when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and certainly the best place to watch a game. The Roo Pub is next to the Angry Elephant and in the same plaza as the Big Blind there at 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
Buyers Barricades is proud to provide traffic control, rental, and sales for work zones and events in the San Antonio area and beyond. Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. Learn more online at buyersbarricades.com. That's buyersbarricades.com.
Hi, I'm attorney Steve Benke. If you've made the decision to divorce, you need an experienced attorney who can help. I've helped many people get through divorce, custody, child support, and alimony problems. Call me. I'm attorney Steve Benke.
210-DIVORCE or go to BenkeLaw.com.
June impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. And right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Football season is among us. Experience the ultimate game day at 49 Cigars at the Village of Stone Oak, Suite 101. Enjoy our fine selection of premium cigars, and you can bring your own beverages. Catch all the action in style at 49 Cigars, where great cigars and unforgettable sports moments meet.
Hi, I'm Cesar Milan. People are always commenting on how healthy my dogs are. One of the reasons is the food my dogs eat.
Dr. Marty's Nature's Blend is a premium freeze-dried raw dog food designed to support your dog's health, happiness, and lifespan. Save up to 54% off Nature's Blend and get a free bag of cod Krispies. Go to drmartypets.com/good or text GOOD to 511-511.
Your order is back with a 90-day guarantee.
All dogs are unique. Your dog results can and will vary. Message and data rates may apply.
I don't feel so good.
You do feel hot. Dayquil Kids will take care of that fever.
What about my cough?
Dayquil Kids has that covered.
Will it make my throat feel better?
Yes, that too.
But will it taste good?
Yep. Dayquil Kids comes in your favorite flavor.
Purple?
Well, yes, it's great.
Try new Dayquil Kids Plus Fever, the daytime coughing, aching, sore throat fever just for kids medicine. Safe for kids 6+. Use as directed.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Eczema flaring up again? We have good news. Exoderm. If you or someone you love suffers from eczema or dermatitis, get Exoderm, the common sense answer for eczema. This stuff really does work. Exoderm contains the #1 doctor-recommended ingredient in a clean hypoallergenic cream with no harsh additives. Take back control of your eczema with affordable, fast-acting Exoderm Flare Control Cream. Exoderm. It's in the first aid aisle of your local Walmart, H-E-B, and other fine stores.
Today only, I-10 Ice House is hooking you up with $2 burger and chips until 8 o'clock. And don't forget daily happy hour specials that'll keep your spirits high and your wallet happy. The best seats are at I-10 Ice House on 9518 Console Drive.
Check out the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Morning 6 to 10, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagle. I'm Jason Minix. Oxnard, California. It's kind of a warm day here in Oxnard.
It's cooling off, though.
Well, not really. According to my phone, it's 77.
Yeah, but the wind is picked up.
Oh, yeah.
That makes a difference.
Breezy out here on our YouTube channel. Bobby Sign says y'all need to get back home and in this 100-degree weather.
Can't wait, my friend. Can't wait.
Yes, cannot wait. Now, the great thing is we'll be home for a couple of weeks. And then we're going to Las Vegas.
Wow.
And we want you to come to Las Vegas. And that might be hot in Vegas.
It's hot
August,
there.
But Stadium Swim is cool. And the casinos are air-conditioned.
Yes, they are.
You don't necessarily have to spend a lot of time outside. Go to sasportstar.com, our website. You'll see the link there for Circa's Ultimate Contest Weekend. Details of why we are going to be in Vegas at Circa are there with those two great contests. The Blitz live there that Thursday and Friday. Then we're staying through the weekend, August 22nd through the 25th. Discounted rooms at both the Circa and the D are there at sasportstar.com. Come hang out with us, the Blitz, Reinagle, me, and a whole bunch of people we know that are going. It's going to be a good time.
No, there's no doubt about it. And again, staying for the weekend doesn't mean we're not going to party during the week. But the weekend should be
work.
Really
Joe.
should be banging.
Work.
Well, of course, yes. But, we find a way.
Well, yes.
We always do.
We always do.
I mean, it's our job to find a way.
Yes.
So, I mean, we have to. People are counting on us to find a way.
And look, the last time we went to Circa Las Vegas, a lot of people were mad. Oh, man, I want to go.
Yes.
A lot of people want to come and carry our bags here at whatever they can do to come to Cowboys training camp. See, we can't bring you here, but we can bring you to Las Vegas.
Absolutely.
On your dime, of course. Well, but we will hang out, and we're going to plan something maybe for that Saturday with all the Blitz listeners that are going to join us there in Las Vegas. This weekend, on Sunday at the Frost Bank Center, is the Big Three basketball San Antonio. If you want to go see the Big Three, starts at 2 o'clock Sunday afternoon. Big caller number 9 right now, 210-656-ESPN, 656-3776. You want to see Ice Cube and the crew? Basketball on Sunday. Caller 9 right now. The tickets are yours. If you don't win them, you can always buy them. Big3.com/tickets.
That's going to be a lot of fun. Be a fun weekend. I wonder how many people are going to the concert Saturday night.
The Legends of Hip Hop with Ice Cube and Bone Thugs and Harmony, and that's not what we're giving away tickets for. I would imagine I would imagine they're going to have a great crowd for that. I'm a little bummed. We land like at 8:30, so I'm not going to make that. And quite frankly, I don't know that I'd have the energy to go.
Not at all.
We're going to land and find some dinner and
exactly right. Head to the house. Perhaps. Who knows? I don't know what my wife has in store for us or for me that Saturday night. So we'll see what happens and what the plans are. But it's all good. It'd be good to get home.
Do you find that you say that? Because, my thought is I'm going to get home and just chill.
Uh-huh.
My wife, your wife, Rob's wife, AJ's plant, they've been at home all week by themselves.
Uh-huh.
And it's weird because, to my knowledge, our wives haven't all gotten together and gone out this week.
I think it's the first time that's happened.
Which is kind of strange. So
yep.
I might get told we're going out.
Yeah.
I might,
you have to.
I mean, I don't know who's playing at Picks or, go watch the fights over at the Roo Pub. But as much as I'm thinking I want to land and just go home,
that may not be happening.
I'm pretty sure going out to dinner is going to be right up there on the list, and probably somewhere to go get a drink, and then go from there. So I mean, I might say I just want to go home and crash.
Well, I don't know. Tamari.
Tamari?
Who's that?
You're not even drinking yet.
Not yet. Tomorrow will. I like traveling in certain respects, and part of that when I don't have to work is just having an adult beverage or two.
Yeah.
And of course, a lot of that will depend on what happens tonight.
What does that mean?
Well, I'm just saying. I have a feeling that tomorrow I may be in need of a little hair of the dog. It's possible.
I'm going to guess that tomorrow morning is going to suck for all of us.
We got to get up. We don't have to get up early tomorrow, do we?
We got to be out of the house by 10.
See, my problem is, Jason, and I'll just tell everybody
what's your problem?
My problem is that it doesn't matter what time I go to bed out here. I'm waking up at San Antonio time. Like this morning, 4:30, bing. My eyes were wide open.
Really?
Yeah, now I went back to sleep.
Okay, good.
But I'm just saying, bing.
Bing.
Yeah, wide awake. Watched a little TV and then fell back asleep.
I've been waking up earlier than I normally would, too. About 7 out here, which isn't bad.
Well, think about it, dude. I mean, we have
9 o'clock back home.
We have to be ready to roll by 8:30.
Yep.
Right? Because we have to get out here. So, that 7's kind of late. I'm already in the shower by 7.
Okay, well, good. See, that's why I have hot water. Is because you've already showered and it's had time to replenish.
Dude, I've had no problem with that.
The first day we were here, I had no hot water.
Well, that's too bad.
Yeah, it kind of sucked.
Oh, well.
But I've had hot water since. It's a great house.
It is. Not bad at all.
Great.
Not bad at all.
I wouldn't want to live in that house, but it's been a great house for the week.
We've been fortunate. I know you guys had a little hiccup one time. Before
I blame Rudy.
Yeah, so... But yeah, we've been fortunate on all the trips. The houses have been good.
The only problem with the house that we're in right now is we're having to call it a near the beach house because on the Airbnb photos, there's pictures of the water.
Yeah.
Can't
No.
We're about 5 minutes from the beach.
You can't even smell it.
But when you look at the Airbnb when you're getting it, and then if you read the fine details, it does say you're 5 minutes from the beach. But there's a beach picture in there that implies that was like from the front balcony. And I've stood on my balcony. I don't get any ocean. Even if I had binoculars, I don't know if I could find the ocean from where my balcony is.
That is exactly the kind of trick that they played on me today with the Impossible Burger.
What does that mean?
Well, because they want you to think you're looking out into the water, right? And you're not, obviously. And then, you said there's a sign that says Impossible Burger, and it just looked like a slider to me.
Well, it was an impossible slider.
Well, my stomach hurts.
Your stomach doesn't hurt.
It does.
Does your stomach really hurt?
It hurts. I feel a little sour. I could be projectile vomiting at any minute.
All right, Tim Spence.
And I'll just turn around and go out that way. Or maybe out front. I don't know.
I would do it out front.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to truly impersonate Tim Spence projectile vomiting, you've got to go over a fence or over a railing. And so go that way with it. We're leaving, so it doesn't matter. I mean,
no, of course not. They may not invite us back, but
we'll blame Clay.
Oh, yeah? Okay. We'll say he did it?
Sure.
Okay.
I mean, it's possible.
Till they see me hanging over the fence.
Well, we're on, there's video everywhere.
Oh, I'm sure there is. Yeah.
So actually, if you do it, there would be great video of that at some point. but it is kind of interesting. Does your stomach really hurt?
Why do they do that to me?
Why did they
trick me like that?
There was a sign that said Impossible Burger.
Clay didn't see the sign. See, because when you're going through a thing like that, I don't read the sign unless I think I don't know what it is. I saw a plate or 10, whatever you call that thing, full of sliders. Thinking it's a real slider.
Yeah.
Don't trick me like that. Maybe there should have been a light or a sign hanging over that, implying that these are not real and they're bad for you.
Now, let me ask you. There was 3 things of food. One of them was some sort of chicken sausage sandwich on a pretzel bun. You didn't get that because you saw the words pretzel bun.
No, I didn't see the words. I saw the pretzel bun, and I'm not a fan of a pretzel bun.
Did you see what was in it? Did you know?
I didn't really care. It was in a
so
pretzel.
you saw the pretzel bun that was covered in cheese.
It was a pretzel bun. That's all I needed to see.
So you were like, the hell with that. I'm
not doing that.
Right.
Yeah.
And you just, what I think happened, you were walking, you're standing in the line, there's the buffet, and you see the sliders, and you go, I've got a slider. And that's all you were thinking about.
Right. See the sliders. I'm assuming they're real meat. And so I get a slider. Nice. And then the next guy is tri-tip. So I eat it, and I will say, I won't lie to you, it tasted just like a regular slider. Not a problem. Had a little mustard on it and some pickles, and tasted just like a slider.
Now, my question, I guess vegetarian can eat cheese, vegan cannot.
I have no idea.
I don't know what the official rules are. But the slider had cheese on it, right?
It did.
The cheese comes from cow.
It does.
Okay. Unless it was Impossible cheese.
Well, that's possible.
But for the record, Clay knew that it was a fake burger.
No, he didn't.
Well, after I told him.
Yeah, Clay told him.
Clay and I were in line together.
Oh, you told him that?
Yeah. Although he already had a burger on his plate. But that's why he didn't eat it. And then Rob was like, well, I'm going to try it. And he was like, I can't tell the difference. AJ was like, eh. And then it was like, well, don't tell Joe until after he eats it.
I thought it was a crappy slider. I mean, it's in a buffet.
Yeah.
Here, right?
And it was, if the boss is listening, it was free. So lunch, nothing on the expense report today from the Blitz.
Well, not yet.
Well, lunch. Dinner will be another story.
Yes.
But what I'm saying, though, is after you ate it, we told you, and you were like, and then you went to go check to see if there was really a sign just to confirm that we weren't pulling your leg.
And there was. But, I mean, who looks at signs?
I saw it.
Nobody looks at that. And so I just think that was a dirty trick by the and I'm going to write a strongly worded letter to the Oxnard Chamber of Commerce.
It was Ventura County, sir.
Well, whatever.
It was they're the ones that put on the buffet. It's California. Don't you half expect a bunch of fake food?
No.
It's California.
My stomach hurts.
Aw. Well, you can stay home tonight and finish 40
I might.
You know how the movie ends, though.
I do. Yeah, he gets lucky.
Does he? Dude, you ruined it for me.
I know, right? Look at this. Now, Britt and Stacy says on our YouTube channel that I have to cook 2 Impossible Burgers for my vegetarian daughters when grilling burgers.
Mm-hmm.
Britt, I hate to tell you, you need to tell your daughters that it's not good for them. It's not good for them. It's a science project that somebody dreamed up in a lab and put a bunch of chemicals in with preservatives that taste like meat.
I can tell you because my daughter is vegetarian.
Well, you need to tell her.
I have, and we go through the same thing, and I'll clean the grill, and she bought grilling utensils that I use for her. It's a pain in the ass, and season them up just like a regular burger, and there you go. And although she likes me to grill like mushrooms, I can't stand those, but I'll do that. But I mean, I've tried some of it. I don't like the burgers. I've tried the Impossible Burgers. I can't stand them. At least the ones that I've tried that, with her, I have tried. I'm not doing it.
No, it's awful. Although it tasted fine. It really did. I'm just looking at this. Let me tell you.
Here we go.
Just for all the people out there, let me do you a favor. The Impossible Burger is a plant-based burger made from a variety of ingredients, including soy protein concentrate, made up. Soy, I can't even pronounce that word, legoglobin. I mean, it's ridiculous.
But there's a lot of that stuff in all the food that you eat. I mean, good Lord,
magnesium.
We had McDonald's for breakfast.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's real either.
I mean, you think that those eggs and bacon?
Listen to this.
Here we go.
Genetically modified yeast. Genetically modified. A science project.
I mean, if you buy meat, the stuff that they put to get the cows where they're going. I mean, there's stuff in all of our food.
I get it, but there's stuff here I can't pronounce. All coconut, sunflower oil, potato protein. I can't pronounce that. Methylcellulose.
Yep.
Natural flavors, preservatives, and various vitamins and minerals. Oh, okay. Whoa, throw some of that in there. Although they're not telling us what it is.
You want to read what's on that Sunkist can right there that Clay's been drinking?
I'm just saying,
Dude,
it's
I haven't
not
seen
good
Sunkist
for
in
you.
forever. Wow. All our energy drinks every day. I mean, there's not a lot of things that we do that's good for us.
Well, I just want to be able to choose what I put in, whether it's good or not. I did not have a choice, and I was tricked today.
And the vegetarian types choose. I don't know. It's their thing. Britt and Stacy says Minnick sounds like he knows what the crap I do for my girls.
You know what that would have been like?
I'm in the same boat.
You know what that would have been like? That would have been like your daughter or Britton's daughter's coming up to that buffet line, and it said there was no sign, and it was a real burger, and they ate it. That's the same thing.
The difference is, the vegetarians always ask and check, and it's annoying as hell.
Huh?
It's annoying as hell. See, they wouldn't make that mistake because they don't assume anything.
Well, I just assumed it. Who the hell at a sporting event? We're at a Cowboys training camp. Who the hell does Impossible Burgers?
I mean, you go to stadiums now, they have food for everybody because there's a lot of people out there that disagree with you, and they prefer that.
I don't think so.
I'm not. Well, did you see?
There's a very small minority that's going to. Do they have Impossible hot dogs?
Yes,
they do.
They have Impossible everything, which is what's nuts.
Science projects.
Well,
that's all they are.
I mean, you do you eat frozen dinners?
No,
you never eat a frozen dinner.
I haven't in a long time. No.
Do you eat food that comes out of a box? Do you have food that's been in your pantry for 6 months?
No.
No?
I don't think so.
You never open a can and have anything?
Well, a can, not a box.
All right. It's the same thing. It's processed food built to sit on a shelf and be fresh for 3 freaking years.
Well, that's not necessarily true. If it's in a can, it's sealed up. It's in a can.
Sure, it's sealed, but they've injected and put all kinds of stuff in there so it will last.
But I choose that. I don't get fooled. I know. Okay, that's got something in it.
Uh-huh.
I don't walk up to a buffet line.
But you don't know what it is.
I don't walk up to I'm assuming it's a burger.
You're talking like all your food is like straight from the farm and is.
You're missing the point.
No, I'm not missing the point.
You're missing the point.
No.
I don't want to walk up to a buffet.
There's crap in everything.
I was tricked today by the Ventura County Chamber of Commerce. They flat out punked me.
And you liked it.
I did not.
You liked it.
It tasted fine, but I was tricked. I was fooled. My brain was saying it's a real thing.
It was a good burger until you realized it wasn't.
It tasted fine. That's not the point. Point is, I was fooled. Tricked by the Ventura County Chamber of Commerce.
Mm-hmm. We're not coming back here for at least 51 more weeks.
That's how they do it, huh?
At the fair tonight?
Yeah.
Just make sure you don't get an Impossible corn dog.
Damn right, I won't.
I mean, Joey Chestnut will be very disappointed.
I'm asking questions from now on. I'm going to annoy the hell out of you. Is this real food?
You always annoy the hell out of me. It is the Blitz here on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. John Machota will join us coming up here at 5:15. Troy Aikman with some interesting thoughts today on the Pat McAfee Show about the future of Dak Prescott in Dallas. We'll dive into all of that as we continue here with our AA Best Bail Bonds Cowboys training camp coverage brought to you by Southern Recipe Pork Rinds here on the Blitz.
Full coverage of Dallas Cowboys training camp live from Oxnard, California. KTFM, Floresville, 94.1. San Antonio's Sports Star. The Morning Huddle.
I kind of went away from it a little bit.
Because we're better, right?
You are better.
Yeah.
It hasn't been the same with anyone he's been with until you showed up.
There we go. Well, all right. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it, TJ.
Hey, listen, when I wake up in the morning, I have to have my gratitude and my prayer and make my bed and get started. Hey, you guys make me feel good about myself, too.
Hey, right on, Bubba. All right, my brother. We'll talk soccer. That makes us feel bad.
The Morning Huddle with AJ and Rob. Weekday mornings, 6 to 10. 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our client's portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more. And then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Maybe it's time to ask your checking account. What have you done for me lately? My Advantage Checking from Generations Federal Credit Union does more. My Advantage Checking pays you 2 days early, plus shopping rewards, identity protection, and much more. My Advantage Checking treats you right. So make the switch. Learn more at Generations Federal Credit Union. Member owned, community grown. Member eligibility requirements apply. For complete terms and conditions, visit mygenfcu.org. Federally insured by NCUA.
Today only, I-10 Ice House is hooking you up with $2 burger and chips until 8 o'clock. And don't forget daily happy hour specials that'll keep your spirits high and your wallet happy. The best seats are at I-10 Ice House on 9518 Console Drive.
It's Jason and Joe from the Blitz. Join us at Circa Las Vegas in August for the Circa Sports Ultimate Contest Weekend.
The Blitz will be live at Circa August 22nd and 23rd, and then we're staying for the weekend. Come to Vegas with us for the Ultimate Contest Weekend.
Circa Survivor and Circa Million are back. Enter in Nevada, play from anywhere.
So join the Blitz at Circa Las Vegas. More details and discounted rooms available online at sasportstar.com.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
Selling your home is full of catch-22s. Do you pay for upgrades like new flooring and fresh paint to sell for more, or put that money toward your dream home? Jason Minix here from San Antonio Sports Star. I want to tell you about Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program, where you can do both. Get more money for your current home and put more money down on your new one. Here's how it works. for your old home that unlocks cash for you to buy and move into your new home. Next, your Orchard team handles the repairs and upgrades on your old home at no upfront cost. Then your local Orchard agent lists, shows, and sells your home on the market. One customer said, quote, "Orchard sold my home for more than I expected, and I got a golf cart." Home selling doesn't have to be a catch-22. With Orchard, get expert guidance and top dollar for your home. Visit Orchard.com and start with your free home valuation. That's Orchard.com. Orchard.com.
San Antonio's Sports Star. San Antonio's Sports Center.
We got Major League Baseball tonight. The Astros, Rangers, both were off yesterday, both back in action tonight. Astros at home, welcoming the Tampa Bay Rays. Rangers, meanwhile, they're at home as well. They'll take on the Boston Red Sox. You can catch that game right here on your home for Rangers baseball. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Start all begins at 6:30. And Team USA, they play tomorrow against Puerto Rico. The men's soccer team, they're out.
Joe Reinagel.
And for the third time in 7 seasons, the San Antonio Spurs are the NBA champions.
Jason Minix.
They go back to big day as Super Bowl champions. Dallas 52, Buffalo 17.
It's the Blitz on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix in Oxnard, California. Our final hour of coverage for our AA Best Bail Bonds Cowboys training camp coverage here from Oxnard. Brought to you by Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. Of course, training camp coverage continues for the next several weeks. Just our time in 70-degree weather will come to an end.
That comes to an end, but yeah, man, we'll still be up plugged in with what's happening here in Oxnard with the Cowboys. Next week, exciting because the LA Rams come in, and Cowboys will get an opportunity to scrimmage against those guys in what a lot of teams are doing this year, because quite frankly, a lot of teams think that's better than preseason football.
They get more out. Well, ones are going to get work.
Right.
And I'll be curious. Does Trey Lance get some work with the ones? I'd like to see Trey Lance going against really good football players.
Yes.
That first preseason game when no starters are playing and a bunch of guys that won't make the team are playing. I want to see what Trey Lance looks like against ones.
Yeah, me too. And I think the Cowboys do as well.
Well, I mean, as Cowboy fans, for the half that want Dak Prescott back, the other half, I get the sense that they just want somebody other than Dak Prescott, somebody else that they can be mad at, and I get that argument. I really do, because I'm tired of it too. You've got to get it done in the postseason, and he hasn't gotten it done. And I still think that he'll end up with a deal before training camp. Although being out here this week, my confidence level is certainly dropped that actually gets done. And it continues to drop after I listened to Troy Aikman talk about Dak and his deal today on the Pat McAfee show. And one of the reasons that I put a lot of stock in what Troy Aikman says about Dak Prescott is Troy has said on this show, on the Blitz, that he and Dak are friends, and that a lot of times Dak will talk to Troy kind of in a sounding board type of situation.
Yeah.
And I don't know that Dak and Troy have had these conversations, or if, this is Troy's 100% on his opinion, or is this Troy's opinion based on conversations he has personally had privately with Dak Prescott? Because I do know Troy certainly knows how to take what he hears in a private situation and keep that private versus what is meant for his broadcast world. But he does think that Dak will be the first $60 million quarterback, and it's likely not to be in Dallas.
If he breaks through this year, I mean, I do believe he's going to be the first quarterback to $60 million. And
from Jerry or somewhere else?
Well, that's the question. And the longer this goes, the more I think he will be playing somewhere else. I just, if it continues to drag on and he plays great, and then the Cowboys come in late to say, hey, now we want to pay you. I don't know where his head will be at that point. But when you look at the numbers, if you didn't have the names and you just looked at stats, and again, I go back to I don't care about stats. I just want to see wins. But wins included, you would put Dak Prescott's numbers over the last couple of years along with Patrick Mahomes's. But it's what's happened in the postseason that has separated those two. And so that's where the whole organization has to be better. This isn't just on Dak Prescott. This goes back for the last 25, 30 years that the Cowboys just have failed to play their best football when the games have mattered most in January.
And that is absolutely true. And a lot of what he says is true. And he certainly knows a thing or two about doing well in the postseason. Although those Cowboy teams in the 90s were stacked. But look, I mean, I'm with him. I think this thing, but I've been saying this for a while. I think Dak is tired of the circus. Unless Jerry blows him away with some kind of a spectacular offer, I think he might want to say, hey, let's be somewhere else next year, or at least see what the market is.
Although I didn't get the sense from Troy's comment that Dak is looking and wanting to leave Dallas. But then earlier today on the podium, about 35 feet from where we're sitting right now, Dak Prescott was asked about his contract situation, and, go back and listen. Troy said the longer this takes, the less likely. And think about what you're about to hear from Dak Prescott when he put time stamps on how long this could take.
I don't think that's pressures or I'm necessarily worried about the talk. I've got a great team. I'm confident in getting something done, confident in the front office here. And I don't really think about it, to be honest with you. As I said, the first day, I'm under contract right now, so all I need to do is be the best that I can be for my job and this year, and then whatever happens, whether it's in a couple of weeks, who knows when it is, if it does happen, it'll happen. I'm not worried about that. And as I said, I've got people that are handling that with the front office here and a lot of confidence in it.
So, and you should.
But the couple of weeks part doesn't make it feel like it's close, right? I mean, the fact that he said in a couple of weeks. I don't know. I mean, you're dissecting every word now, and you're looking for clues and signs. I don't know.
And that's what we're doing. And I'm anxious to talk to John Machota, who will join us here in a few minutes, because he was with Jerry Jones. Jerry walked by here, chose not to do the car wash because of the contract situation. Didn't want to answer the same questions, but reporters caught him out here. And he sounded frustrated to me. So I want to hear from Machota what he thought. How was Jerry's demeanor when he was answering those questions?
Yeah, because it's hard to get context from a tweet. But the quote tweet, essentially, Jerry didn't want to talk about contracts. And it doesn't do any good to talk about contracts. Jerry has made a career out of talking about contracts in the media. So I don't know if I should read into it. Does that mean it's close or so far away the frustration level is through the roof? And both could be true because there's two contracts that are on the table.
Yep.
He's at the point where he doesn't want to talk about it and negotiate through the media. Does that mean it's close or I mean, you could read it both ways. So we'll get John Machota's thoughts on that coming up. Now, the one thing about Dak Prescott, and Troy Aikman said this as much today on Pat McAfee, and we've seen it out here. And I'm glad it's not just me, the quote-unquote Dak defender of this radio station, that has noticed this. You have other national media. Dak seems more dialed in than or sharper, whatever the word is. There's elevated play in this part of practice, this part of training camp, than what we've seen from Dak Prescott before. Maybe it's because CD isn't here and that extra work with those other receivers has to get done. But as Troy Aikman said today, all Dak wants to do is win.
Another guy that probably doesn't get talked about in that same light because he hasn't had the same success in the postseason is a guy who I'm very fond of right here in Dallas, and that's Dak Prescott. What I respect so much about Dak, one is he's a great leader. He's a great person, but he's an old school guy in that he doesn't care about anything but winning. And it frustrates him beyond imagination that they haven't had more success in the postseason. And it's the only thing that's keeping him from really being mentioned with Pat Mahomes and some of the other greats.
And I agree with that completely because of, 3 12-win seasons in a row. That's an amazing thing, but then it's just flop, flop, flop in the postseason. it matters. And even Troy says that. He's talking about stats. He doesn't care about stats. You talk about wins. That's what's the most important. This is professional football. It's not junior league where you get a trophy for leading the league in throwing. That's where it matters. And that's when some guys have it and some guys don't. And right now, as I sit here today, I have to believe that Dak does not have that. He doesn't. And you can blame it on Jerry. You can blame it on the rest of the guys, whatever the case may be. Dak Prescott is the face of this franchise. He's the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. He's going to get more praise than he deserves, and he's going to get more blame than he deserves. But that's the way it goes. And you're making a ton of cash. You want a ton more cash. You got to put up with that. And that's just the way that it is. And you got to win. You're expected to win. And that's the thing.
That's the key there. Go win in the playoffs. That's what matters most. We'll talk more about it coming up. John Machota from The Athletic will join us live here on the tennis courts in Oxnard, California. Don't forget tomorrow. I know Pledge was telling us earlier how excited he is to be a part of the San Antonio Sports Star and Gomez Law Firm first annual back to school drive. You can go meet Pledge tomorrow at the Gomez Law Firm, noon to 2. He'll be out there with everybody from Alpha Media.
Signing autographs?
Well, I mean, I don't know. He'll
taking pictures?
Kissing babies.
Wow, nice,
that's what Pledge likes to do. He'll probably eat those Las Palapas tacos as well.
I know we'll do that.
500 backpacks, school supplies, while supplies last. We're scheduled noon to 2. But again, while supplies last. Gomez Law Firm is over there on Moss Rock Drive. Google it. You'll find it. Again, while supplies last. The first annual back to school drive tomorrow, noon to 2, presented by the Gomez Law Firm and in part by ProStar Home Care Services, Sonora Bank, and Las Palapas. John Machota next here on the Blitz.
You know, I've been talking about Stevens Roofing for a long time now. They're a family-owned local company, and they live in San Antonio and South Texas. They know what kind of weather we have, and they know what that weather can do to your roof. And let's face it, your roof covers your home, it covers your family, so you need a reliable roofer that you can trust. You can trust Stevens Roofing. Whether it's a commercial project or a residential project, doesn't matter. Whether you have a metal roof on your home or a composition roof, they're licensed by the city of San Antonio. Estimates are always free when you call them. 210-785-0994. And, you know, everybody's looking to save a little money these days, right? So if you've been thinking about going solar, Stevens Roofing has you covered there as well. Look, solar panels are increasingly affordable. With solar, you can save money on your monthly utility bills. Plus, solar will often increase the value of your home. There are even options to keep the lights on when the grid goes down. Stevens Roofing has a team of certified experts that deliver solar solutions tailored to your specific need. So for roofing or for solar, call the local company that's been trusted for decades. Call Stevens Roofing at 210-785-0994. Stevens Roofing has your family covered. Call them 210-785-0994.
San Antonio's Sports Star.
Today only, I-10 Ice House is hooking you up with $2 burger and chips until 8 o'clock. The best deals for a Friday night only at I-10 Ice House, your neighborhood sports headquarters with over a decade of excellence. Catch every thrilling moment on massive 10-foot screens, whether it's the big game or that must-see pay-per-view event. And don't miss out on their daily happy hour specials. The best seats are at I-10 Ice House on 9518 Console Drive, proudly serving our community for over 10 years. I-10 Ice House.
Listen to this station anytime, anywhere on Odyssey. Odyssey is your new audio home for all the music, news, sports, and podcasts that matter to you. Odyssey. That's AUDACY.
This is it. Shop the Lowe's Closeout event to get up to 70% off select major appliances for your home. Plus, get up to 60% off select patio furniture and accessories for your outdoor spaces. So hurry into your local store today because these deals are too good to last. Shop them now before they're gone because Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 8/7 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Guess what, people? Wendy's has new saucy nugs. You heard me. Wendy's nugs now come in 7 saucy flavors. Buffalo, honey barbecue, garlic parm, spicy ghost pepper. You can literally hear your taste buds after every bite. I'm serious. Listen to mine. Okay, that's just me playing with sound effects, but you got the idea. For a whole new way to nug, gotta be Wendy's.
Participating U.S. Wendy's.
Halftime means back-to-school shopping time at Target. Get your phones out, dads. We're saving 30% off.
Wow, look at this. Backpacks, clothes, shoes, at 30% off.
There's the pizza backpack my kid wants. Add to cart.
Oh, my daughter's gonna love this heart tee. Better grab some leggings, too.
Even notebooks, folders, pencils.
And glue sticks and crayons? All at 30% off this week only.
My sideline shopping game is strong.
When it comes to getting 30% off, Target has your back to school.
School is almost here, and if there's two things I can count on, it's my kids needing new outfits because they grow like weeds, and Kohl's stocking their favorite styles. With the back-to-school customer appreciation event going on, I scored 30% off tees, jeans, sneakers, and more when I shopped with a Kohl's card. No card? No problem. Rewards members save 20%, and everyone else saves 15%, plus earn Kohl's cash. When it comes to back to school, you gotta go back to Kohl's. Select styles. Some exclusions apply. Offer ends August 11th. See store or Kohl's.com for details.
El Guacamole Mexican Grill on 25020 Blanco Road is now ready to serve up the cold drinks with your favorite Mexican dish. Come celebrate the grand opening of their bar this August 15th and get a free margarita only at El Guacamole Mexican Grill, 25020 Blanco Road.
Hi, my name's Jason Thompson. I've lived in San Antonio for more than 50 years. Went to grade school, high school, and graduated from law school right here. San Antonians have trusted me as their attorney after serious injury and fatality collision since 1994. My website is alawyerforus.com. Why a lawyer for us? Well, after several years of practice, I watched as insurance companies created their own law firms solely to defend against auto claims. Today, there are very few insurance companies that do not have their own captive law firm filled with attorneys whose job is to minimize what the insurance company has to pay on an auto claim. If you or a family member is injured in a traffic collision, you will need your own attorney. Just remember alawyerforus.com. For many lawyers you see on billboards, your case will be handled by a non-lawyer or a staff lawyer. If you call me, Jason Thompson, I will be the lawyer you speak with. The initial consultation is always free. If you or a family member needs an experienced attorney you can trust, I want you to call me, Jason Thompson. My number is 900-0400. That's 210-900-0400 or alawyerforus.com.
Howdy, San Antonio. This is Andrew Monaco, and you're locked on the home of the Aggies, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1, a San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagle. I'm Jason Minix. Our AA Best Bail Bonds Dallas Cowboys training camp coverage continues from Oxnard, brought to you by Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. Not on the Buyers Barricades guest line because he's sitting with us on the tennis courts. John Machota from The Athletic. It's fun. It's our annual in-person visit.
Okay, are you sponsored by Nike today or what?
I'm not, but
no?
Man, I just, you know what it is that the older I get, the more I like to just do my shopping online. And so if you find like a product that you like the way it fits, I just end up buying like 2 or 3 of them. So like I have this sweatshirt in a couple different colors. I just end up wearing a lot of, thank you. I just wear a lot of Nike stuff. So
but this week you do look like your coverage is brought to you by Nike.
Absolutely.
If they want to sponsor me, I would gladly take that.
Yeah, exactly.
For sure.
That's how it goes. So it's been an interesting week for us as radio guys. Yesterday we were told we might have Jerry, and they did say tentative, and it didn't happen. Today, same thing, and it didnn't happen. I saw you writers cornered him, and
we do.
And he didn't want to talk contracts, which I found interesting because Jerry always seems to want to talk. What was his tone when he was answering questions about not wanting to talk contracts? It's hard to understand context sometimes when you're reading a quote on Twitter at John Machota.
Very, it's kind of like we've talked before on this show about how, Jerry was kind of quiet in the off season, didn't really say a ton. And even out here when he talked for about 7 minutes, like over that part of the tennis courts over there. And he didn't, I don't know. It's tough to read him because there's part of you that goes, oh, is he kind of being coy on this? Because maybe they are close with CD and he doesn't want to say something that's going to mess the thing up. But then there's the other part of me where I'm like, I just don't think he wants to talk about him because I don't think he wants to say anything that could potentially, set things back. I don't think anything's changed. I think CD, that contract gets done within as early as maybe in the next few days but before the season starts. The Dak one is the one that's still, it seems like it's a decent ways apart. But even that, he would say not necessarily when asked which one's closer, one or the other, where I think it's pretty well. If you read and into everything that Jerry and Steven has said out here, it seems like CD is pretty close.
It's interesting because just from your tweet, and again, it's hard to say. Did you sense any frustration with Jerry at all?
No. I honestly, and that's the thing about Jerry Jones too. You can ask him anything.
Yeah.
And even like right there, you can follow up 2 or 3 more times and get him to just keep saying it in a different way. But he's never really. I can't think of many times where he's just been like ready to walk away if you keep asking a question, because the thing for me that I always compare it to is really the combine in Indianapolis, because that's when you're with other writers who have other front office and coaches around them. And I'm not going to name any names, but there are some people, some front office and some coaches that they look at the writers that covered their team like it is just the worst. Like they don't even acknowledge that they're, oh geez, we got to deal with this person. Like they won't even talk. So it's like, for me, I'll tweet stuff like I did that today, or when Steven gives an update, and there'll be people that respond. They're just like, he's not really saying anything, but they're talking. And so my job is to tell you, this is what they're saying. And so I'd rather have that than them look at me like, get away from me right now before I call the police, So I like that they give us something. But I don't know that Jerry talking out here was going to make things worse. I guess, what is he really going to say at this point? But there is always a part that I guess if you get him talking long enough, you never know what he might say. And so maybe some people told him, hey, we're getting real close on this. Don't say anything else. Let's just kind of let it lie and see what we can get something done.
John Machota from The Athletic joining us here on the Blitz on the Dak contract. And, I've been confident all offseason that I think a deal would get done in camp. That confidence level is dropped. And then I heard Troy Aikman say some interesting things today on the Pat McAfee show. And I know that he is close with Dak Prescott. Are you thinking a deal gets done before camp, or is this going to play out and he'll become a free agent?
I don't. I think that they're going to let him play the season out. I really do. I started feeling it back in March because I was like, well, this is the time, because if you get it done right now, then you have this time to also maybe add some other pieces. I mean, heck, at least re-sign Jonathan Hankins, do some, even if it isn't a major move, something small. And when that didn't happen, I was like, oh, when Jerry says he wants to see more leaves fall, maybe the leaves that he wants to see fall is, can we get past a deep run in the playoffs? And I don't think he's going to say that publicly. There's nobody in the Cowboys organization that has ever said anything negative about Dak, publicly like that. So why would that? But the actions speak louder than words, and the actions are that it doesn't seem like they're super close. When we think of leaves falling, we think of the market, and I saw a Tua Tagovailoa leaf fall. I saw a Jordan Love leaf fall. So how many more leaves need to fall? He had talked about the lawsuit Jerry did the other day with the Direct TV thing. That got settled. That's another leaf falling. Yep. So these have all fallen. So the only one that's left is possibly on the field that they want to see more. And that's risky, because then you obviously run the chance of Dak hitting free agency. And I don't think you want to get in a bidding war, because you just never know what kind of team could come out of nowhere with some type of a huge offer. So,
John, you were the first guy that I heard say that you thought Jerry was really pissed off after that Green Bay game. Do you think the things that have happened or not happened this offseason are still a direct result from that? Because it seems, and I know Dak said the other day, fans need to get over it, but fans aren't over it. I mean, and this as well as anybody. Do you think some of these things are still a direct result from that?
No question. I think that probably comes from the business world too, which I know nothing about, but I think that Jerry Jones probably feels that, some people do their best work when their backs are up against the wall and the pressure is on them. And that's why I don't think he minds whether you talk about Mike McCarthy and his coaching staff in a final year, or Mike Zimmer under a 1-year deal, or Dak possibly playing under the final year of his contract. I think there's a part of him that believes that could bring out the best. And so I think that for him could be the all-in that he talks about. I was like, well, it's all in, because just think about how different next season would be if you go into that and there's no Dak, there's all new coaching staff. Well, then you were all in on the previous season, So yeah, there's no question. I think he is still in. I don't think that it's like he's there's no way he's as mad as I saw him when he walked out of, the elevator that takes him down and then over to the locker room. But I think that he, just by what they did in free agency, spoke loud and clear to me that, oh no, he was going to be like, all right, well, let's see if you guys can do it with maybe a lesser team. And if you can't, well, then there's going to be major changes in the offseason.
John Machota from The Athletic, aside from contracts and all the other stuff on the football field, while you're trying, I appreciate you guys charting practices too.
Yes, absolutely.
Somebody's got to work. Who has stood out to you that maybe is a bit of a surprise?
So I'm a big video guy and charting practice and posting tweets, because I know fans can't be out here, so it's a good chance to see it. So I know the fans out there miss CeeDee Lamb, but I really miss CeeDee Lamb because the highlights just haven't been there like there are when it's out there. Same with the Bryant years were great.
Mm-hmm.
The cornerbacks on the team weren't as great either, so he was really just wrecking guys. So I would like to see CeeDee Lamb back out here for my video purposes. So there just hasn't been as much stuff when you ask about what stands out. Not as many balls down the field. Trey Lance had a nice one today to Jalen Tolbert, and I would say Tolbert's pretty high on my list of people that have stood out. Jalen Tolbert, Tyron Billy Johnson, who every year it seems like you come to camp and especially those first 4 days, you're just like, well, this receiver look good because no pads are on that. But Tyron Billy Johnson has been really solid. He's stood out. Those couple of reps, I know it's only a couple, but man, a couple of those Tyler Guyton reps against Micah Parsons impressed me because I was expecting Micah Parsons just to embarrass him. And so that was a good sign considering that he might be out there week 1 against Myles Garrett. So I would say that those guys probably stood out the most. Nothing really with the running game has caught my eye that has stood out much. I know a lot of people want updates all the time about Mozzie and Trey Lance, and they kind of look like kind of what you'd think. You can oversell it and act like they look worse than they do. I just think that they look okay, but there's nothing like where you're like, wow, this guy looks like he's really making a jump. The one person I will say that maybe hasn't had a ton of flash plays, but just has been consistent to me is Luke Schoonmaker. And I do believe if he stays healthy, he could have a bigger role, especially for a team that doesn't really add anything receiver-wise in the offseason. Potentially, he could be a guy that takes a step up and gets more targets. So I would say that those would be the ones. And I do think that we would have seen more out of Sam Williams if he didn't get hurt. That's a pretty big loss for them. I mean, especially when I saw how much they were moving Micah around. That would probably be my number one takeaway is coming out to camp. I did not expect to see Mike at linebacker as much as he had. And so because of that really opened things up for Sam to play a ton. And so it's going to be tough to replace him because they really liked what his upside was for sure.
It's going to be interesting. And, of course, when Steven joined us here on the Blitz on Monday.
Really good stuff you guys did with him, too, by the way. I enjoyed it.
Well, thank you. He was very high on Royce Freeman.
Yeah.
What do you think about Royce Freeman? And is he a possibility to maybe be that guy that everybody wants around here?
It's funny because I listened to all the clips that you cut up. And when I heard that one, I'm like, normally I wouldn't even fire off a tweet about a run back. But because he was so in on that, I think he'd mentioned that they got brought up during the scout dinner or whatever. And because there's nothing on the field that I would say, and maybe that makes me not an expert to some people, but there's nothing on the field that jumps out. But the thing he said to you guys was about the special teams thing. And that is a huge gray area right now in the NFL because of the new kickoff rule. Like who's going to be using these different roles? Talking to John Fossil yesterday, most teams are going to have 2 decent returners. And so I think a lot of teams can have that one Kevontae Turpin, but that's going to be what's so interesting is who's this other guy that maybe we don't have on our 53, but they're like, no. This new kickoff rule, we can use this guy in this role and that. And so Freeman on the special teams thing, when he talked about that, I mean, it bumped him at least 3 spots up on the depth chart for me. So that was interesting, but I can't say that there's anything out there offensively that any of the running backs have done that, I mean, obviously, for me, I compare everything to 2016, 17, 18, Zeke.
Sure.
Some of those DeMarco Murray years. There's nothing, and nor should you expect there to be anything.
Well,
like
and
that.
again, Zeke's gas tank was about empty, and they let him go, and they were celebrated for doing that.
Right.
Bringing him back, and with what I don't think that the Cowboys' leading rusher at the end of the season is on the roster right now. He's not here in camp. And if he is, the Cowboys are going to struggle in the run game. And I hear that about Freeman. All right, cool. Maybe he is a good running back, but I don't know about many bell cow running backs that are also big on special teams. You can't have them both.
Yeah, I would say the guy with the best chance on this team right now that we might not talk about enough is maybe Rico Dowdle. But it kind of goes back to what I said about Schoonmaker, where he's got to stay healthy. But he does have some upside there and some burst to where you're like, man, if this guy could stay healthy for 17 games, he's the guy at the end of the year that maybe has 800 or 900 yards. Which would obviously be huge for him, but I just think we kind of know what Zeke is, and he can be a good solid back, but it's going to have to be as a compliment to somebody else. Which obviously, if they bring back Tony Pollard, it would have been a compliment to Pollard, and I don't think we'd be talking about this nearly enough. But I don't think any of these questions get answered in the preseason either. So I'm very interested when other teams start cutting to 53. That's definitely a position I'm going to have my eyes open for.
I thought it was very interesting today because we had Brock Hoffman on, and obviously you thinking a battle maybe between he and Cooper Beebe. Dak Prescott was very complimentary of Brock Hoffman today, I heard.
No, he was. But so this offseason, with the Cowboys practice facility right next door, there is a training facility where a lot of athletes train at, and they do the offensive line masterminds over there. And Manny Weather, very well-respected offensive line guru. When Zach Martin was holding out of camp last year, he was working at the facility with Duke Manyweather. The Cowboys have a good relationship with him. And so I went out there for the O-line masterminds this year for a couple of days to just kind of take everything in. And just to give you an idea of like the way this facility is, like I'm facing this way. I'm indoors, and this is where all the tables of offensive linemen are. And through the glass on the outside is Jamar Chase just working out. Like it's like Myles Garrett works out there. It's a really big deal training facility. And so anyway, when that was done, I talked to Duke, and I was like, asking him, mainly I was going to write a story about Cooper Beebe and Guyton because they have both worked with Duke. And Duke's the one that was like, yeah, I wouldn't count out Brock Hoffman at all. Like, because Brock goes up there a lot and he's like, I'm telling you, this guy's got something. And it's not, just don't assume that just like, well, they drafted BB in the 3rd round, he's going to take this job. He's like, I'm telling you, Brock Hoffman's got something. And he's kind of like with Jalen Tolbert. You see them doing all the right things in the offseason, hanging out with Dak, around him all the time, things like that. And every time I've seen reps out there, he's the one with the one. So I wouldn't write him off yet. Whereas the thing with BB that's interesting to me is like I can see him eventually being that center, but I think that they also like the idea that what if one of their guards go down? BB can help them there too. So they really like the depth there. But I think the thing that we should all look at is it's unlikely that their center play is going to be as good as Biadasz and certainly not as good as Frederick. So there's probably going to be some growing pains there, whoever is the center.
Although when Biadasz was hurt last year and Hoffman was in, there wasn't a noticeable kind of moment. And it seems like Dak likes him.
Yeah.
And talking to Brock, he got very detailed in our conversation about the relationship between the quarterback and the center.
Yes.
He and Dak are a lot closer than most guys are.
Yeah. Talking about the towel situation.
Well,
and things
the pressure,
like
the towel and the pressure,
and how Dak likes his pressure.
Very, very, very detailed. It was interesting.
Yes,
it is. That is interesting too, because I bet there's less. No, I know there has to be less and less of that now, just because of the fact that so many of these offenses, we talk about high school, college, or pro, are done from the gun, and so you're not dealing with as much of that under center stuff that was such a big part of the game, 10, 15, 20, 30 years ago. But I believe that this team is confident that Brock Hoffman can be the guy. I'm not saying that that's why they let Biadasz go, but when they had to make that tough decision there, I think that they were comfortable with like, well, hey, we got Brock, he can be solid, and maybe he wins the job, and we look back and we go, hey, that's great, but let's also maybe draft a guy, in the 2nd, 3rd round, which they were able to do. And then it kind of grows from there. And so I do think that they did the right thing there. That if you talk about everything that happened in the Cowboys offseason, the biggest positive they did was trade that 1st round pick back and turn it into Tyler Guyton and Cooper Beebe. I mean, they draft offensive linemen well. Even if it doesn't have huge dividends this year, I think over the long haul, you're going to have those guys around in key roles for a while.
John, I think Cooper Beebe, to me, might have been the best piece in that draft. And I say that Tyler Guyton told us that he watched Cooper Beebe and tried to mirror him in a lot of respects. And so already Tyler Guyton has got a lot of respect for Cooper Beebe. So they've been talking quite a bit. So I like Cooper Beebe, and I think maybe not this year, but the future, he is that somewhere on that offensive line.
Yeah, for sure. I was walking off the field with him the other day, and I felt bad for holding him up because with him being a rookie, he had to do that thing where he's like trying to carry eight helmets like for the entire offensive line. So I'm like, I'm going to keep this as quick. I'll walk with you or whatever. But he told me that most of the teams in the draft process talked about him playing center because he was a guard and he was a standout guard, but there was something about him that teams really liked where they thought he could progress to being a really dominant quality guard quality center. I'm sorry. So obviously he has to work on the snapping and that's going to be something a little bit new for any player that's doing that. But I think that with 5 offensive line spots, they're going to find a spot for him. I mean, you guys know how it is. It's to have that same 5 healthy all year. I mean, I can just tell you right now, just from the Mike McCarthy era, that hasn't happened. He's talked about that multiple times, that, the correlation that they do on studies of NFL teams that have that starting 5 throughout the entire season, like the win total is just out of this world because that consistency up front. So if you tell me they have a solid 5 going into the season and it's that same 5 throughout, they'll probably be fine. We haven't seen that in a long time in Dallas.
Last year early. I mean, it was brutal at times. Yeah. Your thoughts on the defense from what you're seeing from Mike Zimmer this year versus years past with Dan Quinn, not only with what you're seeing guys do on the field, but how he is coaching them out there?
It's funny because I came into this camp thinking, all right, we're going to finally get to see more from Mike Zimmer. I think they're going to be as pressing in the defensive backfield, and they're just getting takeaways like crazy out there. So I don't think that's going to change. I think at the end of the day, they got some really good players that can get their hand on the ball, especially and that's without even seeing Diggs out there. So, I'll let me just say that real quick before I go any more in the defense. If people ask me, like, how could this team possibly be better than last year? Like, what would possibly happen? It would have to be that the defense, you keep those corners healthy. They're both ball hawks. This whole moving Micah around even more than he was before just totally catches some teams where they're just not kind of ready for everything, and the defense is dominant. And it's tough to say that because I have a lot of questions about defensive tackle, but with Zimmer coming in, the way his style is, I just think that there's going to be times up front where I don't think they might be as aggressive. I think they'll be probably more fundamentally sound. So that'll help against the run game, which has obviously been an issue, the run defense the last couple of years. I think that's where that comes from, because if they can be fundamentally more sound and can be a better run stopping defense, and then they're still taking away in the passing game, then that's where you're like, wow, I went into the season not thinking they'd be a top, 6-7 defense, and they are, and they're taking the ball away. That would be the way where I'm like, oh, maybe this is a team that, because that defense can travel, you got a road playoff game and stuff like that. That can keep you in a game for a long time. And obviously we saw in that playoff game, when you have a bad defense, how fast things can get out of control. So I've seen a little bit from Zimmer, but I still think that even in the preseason, I think they're going to hold a lot of stuff back. The number one thing by far is just how much Micah's playing at linebacker. And even, like I think I told you guys last week, I love the way that they're running these sets sometimes where Micah's rushing, blitzing right behind DeMarcus Lawrence, because it's kind of like pick your poison in those, and they're going to pick and choose those spots where they use him in. So the one downside from that, though, just to be clear with you guys, there were more splash plays from Micah Parsons last year camp. Micah just wreck shot from day one at camp, just wrecking plays right and left. And he's still doing that and some, but not as much as last year because they have him away from the line of scrimmage more.
John Machota from The Athletic. Follow him on Twitter, especially for those great videos.
Yes.
At John Machota. Read them and subscribe to The Athletic. Great seeing you in person, my friend.
Absolutely. Great seeing you guys as well.
Absolutely.
Good stuff. More coming up here from Cowboys training camp on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Monday on the Morning Huddle, back in the saddle again. We'll look back at training camp and look forward to a busy week for the Cowboys.
Latest with Team USA, the basketball, and we're going to start track and field here soon. Morning Huddle starts at 6 right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson. Morning 6 to 10 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
If you're a man and you live in or around the San Antonio area, you need to listen to this message. Do you find yourself stressing about or even avoiding intimate moments? Do you find yourself thinking, is it going to work? Does your partner look at you and ask, is it me? Did I do something wrong? Do you get frustrated when things don't live up to their expectations? Men, you're not alone, and we have a solution. For over a decade, Mojo has delivered 100% guaranteed male performance results. Mojo truly works every single time. Guys, Mojo works when all other things fail, and its proprietary formula has helped thousands of men live their best lives again. Yeah! Mojo is 100% natural, blood pressure safe, diabetic friendly, and fast acting. And Mojo is now available in both spray and capsule formulas exclusively at Pure Line Nutrition. Call Pure Line Nutrition in San Antonio today at 210-494-2210. That's Pure Line Nutrition, 210-494-2210.
It's time to huddle up and listen close. For 2024, we pay tribute to a true game changer in the world of snacks, the unrivaled, the unbeatable, the pork rind. Yes, it's crunch time, and we're not just talking about the last few nail-biting minutes of the game. We're talking about a snack so audaciously crunchy, it puts those pretentious chips and pretzels to shame. So here's to you, Southern Recipe pork rinds, for being more than just a crunch. Southern Recipe pork rinds. It's crunch time. Find your rind at HEB.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, how you doing? Haven't seen you around the gym.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could be lower testosterone. I went through it a while back. I got Nugenix Total T, and it's made a huge difference for me.
I've seen that ad on TV. Is it for real?
Oh, yeah. The key ingredient is something called Tesnor. which helps boost free and total testosterone levels to help you trim up and stay lean.
And it's made a difference for you?
Man, I feel like I'm in my 20s again, at work, in the gym, and in the bedroom.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles for people to try it for themselves?
Yeah, you just need to send them a text. Text ENERGY to 321-321 right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo, our most powerful fat incinerator ever, to help you get back into shape fast, absolutely free. Text ENERGY to 321-321. That's ENERGY to 321-321.
Products and statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or illness.
Hey, this is Rob Thompson for Tri-County Meat Market, your locally owned full-service meat market. Tri-County has 2 great locations, Huebner Road and Ralph Fair, stocked full of everything you need to up your grilling game. You're looking for the perfect cut of beef, they've got it. If they don't have it, they'll cut it for you. Roast chicken, prepare foods, they've got it. The 5 for $25 is always in play. If you're a first responder, 10% off the best meat you're going to find. Tri-County Meat Market. Head over to either location, put some good meat on the grill, and thank me later.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with the right skills, sends you great matches, then you can easily invite them to apply. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. See for yourself. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Hi, welcome to Staples.
Yeah, my daughter needs a laptop for college, but I need to watch the budget.
Well, Staples hot deals on tech are backed by a price match guarantee, so our prices won't be beat.
Great. I can't believe my baby's starting college.
She'll do great.
I know.
Oh, let's get you a great deal on a laptop.
Save big on tech for school at Staples. Now get up to $300 off select PCs. And take 24 price match guarantee valid within 14 days of purchase. Exclusions apply. For details, visit staples.com/price match.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
Today only, I-10 Ice House is hooking you up with $2 burger and chips until 8 o'clock. And don't forget daily happy hour specials that'll keep your spirits high and your wallet happy. The best seats are at I-10 Ice House on 9518 Console Drive.
It is the Blitz here on 94.1 at San Antonio Sports Star. He's Joe Reinagel. I'm Jason Minix. Our AA Best Bail Bonds Dallas Cowboys training camp coverage continues, brought to you by Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. Almost done. I just checked into our flight, Joe.
Uh-oh. Good.
Yep.
That's awesome. It's time, huh?
8:23.
Well, wait a minute. That's not good.
8:23?
No, it should be coming out here. It was 8:17.
Well, there's apparently more people going from Los Angeles to San Antonio
and
than
why
the other way
wouldn't
around.
Why wouldn't
Look
they?
at that.
Right.
2 drink coupons.
Oh,
Beautiful.
yeah,
Hang on.
nice.
Got to get some business done here.
Uh-huh.
Priorities. Let's add that to the wallet. Good. All right. Everybody's checked in.
All right. Good deal.
Everybody has TSA pre except Rob Thompson.
That's it. Oh, Rob.
When is he going to learn?
Well, he's not. He's not. And, we travel. Even he travels enough. I mean, he doesn't travel like you and I, but he travels enough where it'd be worth it for him. And we come out here, Super Bowl, Army, Navy. I mean, all of that stuff.
Yeah. It's and in Los Angeles, that line might be ridiculously long. So, we'll have to see. But you look at it, and if you missed any of our coverage this week, shame on you. But lots of great stuff on our Instagram page at SA Sports Star. Check our YouTube page. We did a great interview with Jaylen Brooks earlier today, a wide receiver you could root for. And if you want a good recipe on North Carolina ribs, and I say a good recipe, it's his recipe. It sounds good. A little different than Texas barbecue, but I had him go through the entire recipe process just to get a good idea. I might try that this weekend. then again, I might just do my ribs the way I want my ribs. Either way, I know that I'm going to get into Tri-County Meat Market and get the ribs, or my wife will tomorrow so I can do them on Sunday. If you do some grilling this weekend, make sure you upload them to the Grilling with the Blitz page at sasportstar.com for your chance to win a $50 gift card from Tri-County Meat Market. But go YouTube, the audio vault at sasportstar.com, all the interviews with the players that we did. And that we talk about this camp as we wrap up our final segment here for this year in Oxnard. It's been different. I'm not going to lie to people. Yeah. It's been a different camp this year all the way around. And talking to some of the writers, whether it's Machota or whether it's Clarence Hill Jr., the other radio stations, there's a different feel here at this camp. And I don't know if it's – I think it's a combination of the way last season ended. Jerry's been kind of quiet all year. We've talked about that,
which
just
is
now
crazy.
John Machota. Yeah. There is lacking of big personality with star players. But if you go through and you listen to some of the interviews we did this week, whether it be a Tyler Guyton or a Brock Hoffman, even Jaylen Brooks today, that was a fun conversation with somebody that you can root for. Micah not doing a lot of radio interviews because he's doing his own podcast and he's kind of mad at the media. Okay. Dak kind of the same kind of thing with the contract talks, not wanting to do a lot. I mean, it has been. And then you look around and you go, you don't have some of those star players. Diggs coming off the pup doesn't do media right now because of the CBA rules. We were supposed to have Eric Kendricks on the show today, but he got hurt, so he couldn't come on the show today. But it's been an interesting sense that way. But at the same time, I think the content and the stories and getting to learn some of these players and personalities has been a lot of fun.
Which is why all professional sports teams should do the same. A guy like Jaylen Brooks, for example, I didn't know Jaylen Brooks from a hole in the wall. But I tell you what, the guy, I love him. I'm rooting for this guy now. I want to see him succeed, and I want to see him do well. What a great young man he was visiting here with us. And so I hope he has the most success that he could ever imagine. Of course, the Cowboys are hoping that too, obviously. But I love it. Brock Hoffman, another guy that you're rooting for now. I mean, I really am. I love Cooper Beebe. Don't get me wrong. I think he's going to be a big star in this league at some point in time. But Brock Hoffman, great. Tyler Guyton, the same way. And I love coming out here. I love the access that we're provided. But I have to piggyback on what you said. This has been, in all of my time coming here, which is a long time for both of us, I have never seen a camp that is just this gloomy, for lack of a better word.
That's a good word for it.
And it's just been kind of gloomy, and with this big stories about the attendance. But there's just been some sort of a funk over this camp. And that's why we mentioned today earlier in the show, if you're with us, if you weren't, it was just today was the most upbeat day that I had seen all week. And people were just seemed a little more excited. Maybe the fact it's Friday and that has something to do with it. More people out here today. But it's just a different camp than I have ever experienced here with the Dallas Cowboys.
I know. I thought Wednesday had a lot of energy. It was, and also, I mean, for our coverage, we got here on Monday and that was a player day off.
Right.
And that was kind of strange. And of course, but the interview we did with Stephen Jones is still making different articles on all kinds of different websites because, it's probably been, I say that I'm not trying to sound like I'm patting ourselves on the back, but, he was a little bit more detailed and opened with us than he has been in some of the other interviews. So that keeps regenerating in various stories with these contract talks that are going through. The other thing that, I thought Wednesday had energy, a lot of energy at today's practice, and maybe it is because it's a Friday.
And more people, look, the players, they see the fans. They get the excitement too. And when there's not a lot of fans, the energy's not quite there. But more today, I thought it was a good day for the Cowboys today. we'll see what happens with these contracts. Look, that's going to be a fog over this team until something happens, until we know something, until CD gets into camp. What's going to happen with Dak? John Machota kind of feels like at this point in time that they're going to let him play it out. I felt that way as well. You feel the opposite. You still think they might get something done, and they may.
My confidence in that has dropped.
Absolutely. So a lot of questions still to be answered. A lot of young players out here that really are not household names yet that are going to have to step up if this team is going to be successful.
All right. So that we've been out here, Joe Reinagle, you have discovered a player.
I have.
I mean, and look, I mean, even though they were out here, so somebody kind of knew, in your mind, you have claimed to have discovered them, whether we're talking about a Jake Ferguson or a Brandon Aubrey. We've been out here for a week.
Two pretty good players, by the way. So my discovery is pretty good.
Yeah. So who is the guy? I'm putting you on the spot.
Yeah.
Who is the guy that you have discovered this week at training camp that nobody knew about that is going to be that guy?
Well, I mean, obviously coming into camp, I wanted to take a long look at Trey Lance. I wanted to see what he looked like. And my time here, and I think you agree, it's been disappointing.
Yes.
So that certainly isn't it. Cooper Beebe, I was in love with when they drafted him. I think he's going to be a star in this thing. But I can't really think of one guy, I'll be honest with you, Jason, that I have looked at that has stood out to me. Everybody's talking about this wide receiver, Johnson.
Well, but every year there's always a wide receiver in training
right?
camp.
Sam Hurd was that guy forever, right?
Mr. August.
Yes.
And Dennis Houston a couple of years ago from San Antonio was that guy. And honestly, this year, you're right. I mean, it'd be easy to say, I don't know. I'm with you. I mean, there hasn't been a player out here that wasn't on my radar that has now jumped on the radar. I will say in some of the past drills, the two Jaylens have looked impressive. And I will say Jaylen Tolbert looks so much better this year than he did last year at this point, and certainly the year before. So maybe he can make that jump, Jaylen Tolbert, but that's not discovering somebody new.
No, it's not. And that's the thing. And I really didn't see anybody that stood out. And granted, we are working most of the time. We did get out there and take a look, but it's like there wasn't that one player that stood out. I think Ferguson is going to be a big star for Dak Prescott. I really do. John Machota mentioned that Schoonmaker is looking a little bit better. The jury for me is still out on that guy because I just don't think he's that guy. But I don't know. It's just going to be interesting. Obviously, I'm rooting for this. I really enjoyed the conversation with Jaylen Brooks, and I really hope that this kid steps up and makes a mark on this football team. And we're talking about CD Lamb's contract and his holdout and all of that kind of stuff, Jason. And I just think that guys like Jaylen Brooks are benefiting from that. Not that you want CD out, but they're benefiting from that. And he's getting some opportunities that he might not have gotten otherwise. And I think at least so far he's taken advantage of it. You saw him catch a touchdown pass today from Dak Prescott. In that respect, whether there's a negative that CD's not here, it's a positive that some of these other guys are getting some opportunity.
Yeah, and again, I will say this, when you're looking for positives, there wasn't like I said, nobody has jumped off the page that I wasn't expecting to jump off the page. Gavontae Turpin has played really well at wide receiver, and we've seen him line up at tailback and run something other than a jet sweep. Well, although outside plays, but, generally, going back to the Jason Garrett years, you see the slot receiver in and he's running the jet sweep. Which also underscores my concern about the running back position that, they might have anybody with a pulse back there at some point. So, but I really like the way they're using Gavontae Turpin, not just in gadget type roles, not a gadget type player, but ways they can get him the ball where he can have the ball in space, whether it's at wide receiver, whether it's at running back. It looks like through a week of practice here, he is going to have a larger role in the regular season. I don't know if that's just a byproduct of CeeDee Lamb isn't here or if that's part of the plan, but Kevontae Turpin, with all his troubles in his journey to get here, looks like he's going to have an enhanced role this year. Now that they've had him for a while, they're figuring out ways they can use him because he is one of those special players. When they get good things happen.
Well, and I think they're doing the same thing with Deuce Vaughn. They're trying to give him an opportunity because he's not going to play running back, folks. That dream died as soon as they drafted him. But if he can do something, and same thing as a Turpin, get him out in space, it might be something that's going to be would be useful for the Cowboys. But I'll be honest with you, Jason, I don't expect to see Deuce Vaughn on the final 54 or 53. I just don't. I think his time's going to run out. Maybe he's a practice squad guy after that, but I just don't see him as a member of the roster.
Yeah, it's unless it's with special teams with those new kickoffs that we saw last night, which it's going to take some getting used to.
Yeah,
it's fascinating, but it's going to take some getting used to. That's going to do it for us. Our AA Best Bail Bonds Cowboys training camp coverage from Oxnard, brought to you by Southern Recipe Pork Rinds. Great job, Clay Thompson, all week. James Pledger back in the studio doing yeoman's work all week.
Way to go, Pledge. Thank you.
For us to go see Sublime at the Ventura County Fair.
You going to sing?
Of course.
All right.
So will you. You're going to know songs.
Yeah.
And you're going to have drinks.
I will.
You might be singing George Strait, but you're going to sing something.
You're welcome.
Carpool karaoke later tonight, not on the Instagram page. Extra innings with Pledge.
The weekend.
Full coverage of Dallas Cowboys training camp live from Oxnard, California. KTFM, Floresville, 94.1, San Antonio's Sports Star.
With a true Vegas